professional Twitch streamer. Hello! I am a professional Twitch streamer that I know exactly what I am doing today. Hello everybody, jokes aside, my name is SenseiSuplex and welcome to that Rime of the Frostmaiden episode 3. Today we have an awesome game for each and every single one of you. I should probably close my curtain, but it's too late now, so we're gonna deal with it. I was looking at the lighting and stuff like that. But yeah, today we have a freaking awesome game for you all to enjoy. Have a handful of lovely individuals. Sadly, Bjorn or J Cross won't be able to make it today. They are moving at the moment, so they weren't able to attend today's session. But we still have the other 5, the gang, the crew, the squad, all that stuff, ready to duke it out or run away or fearfully against that of these crazy creatures as they are getting ready to encounter. Yeah, that being said, as the usual, you guys know the whole deal. Obviously, I won't be able to talk and interact with that chat too much because I'll obviously be DMing the game, yada, yada, yada. But if you do want to talk and hang out and interact with that the community, be sure to talk amongst all your fellow community members or players or whatever in chat. And yeah, have a great time there. Also, remember that you guys can affect the games with inspiration points and health potions using channel points and all of that sort of stuff. So, hey, be sure to do that because, hey, you never know when they may need it. And yeah, I think that's all my announcements for today. Oh, also, we have the freaking Auroraverse merch on. I think Bimroth, he has the Greek mythos or the Theros, the Theros tank top on. Right now we're rocking the Cyberpunk tank top for Project Aurora. But yeah, if you're ever interested in buying any of the merch or anything like that, we have all the different settings for Project Aurora. Be sure to scroll down and go check that out. Click on the tank top and you'll get linked to that of the store. But yeah, let's get started with today's session. Alrighty. I'm gonna switch on over. Doop-a-doop-a-doop. Okie dokie. Let's see what they're talking about. Here, we're gonna quickly unmute.
Back. Oh. They're really good.
Where did you get them?
Well, the individual ones, I think I got like Sam's Club, Costco, but you can get like a huge like bag of them. They're like a Cheez-It on steroids. Like that's really how I describe it.
A Cheez-It on steroids. That is something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Free promotion for a Cheez-It Snap.
Cheesy crack.
They're great. They're awesome. I love them.
Oh man. Alright. That being said, if everybody's good to go, let's get started with today's session. Session 3 of Rime of the Frostmaiden. Alrighty, let's do this, friends. Did you say no?
Maybe.
Did you say no?
Maybe.
I will turn this entire session around, Fish. Oh man. No, I'm kidding.
Fine, I'll just leave then.
For
No,
a moment
please.
there, you thought you could survive this session.
For a moment. Well, if you look, I made it pretty clear. So the current missions of you guys is figure out where you are. 2, figure out how you're alive. And 3, this is the big one, survive. Oh,
Sensei,
man.
we all know we're not alive and that we're now indebted to some god of death and that we're going to be sent to Tartarus. Like, I mean,
Oh man,
or whatever we're calling the 9 hells.
this guy figured it out. This guy figured it out, the whole plot. I gotta rewrite it quick. But in the meantime, I would like each and every single one of you to gather around the table. And let me tell you another fable that wasn't spoiled by Pyre. Okay. But the tale of a band of misfits, survivors. The tale of the corruption within, and that of an everlasting frost. For this, my friends, be the infamous tale of the Frostmaiden. Our journey would continue, as our heroes would find themselves awaking out of their icy prisons, stranded in the midst of a snowstorm, awakening in the nest of some creature. The heroes would flee for safety, however, it wouldn't be before noticing these strange markings upon their hands, and witnessing even stranger individuals abducting their allies, specifically Empire. The heroes would push on, however, they learned the dangers of mere ice and the Azure Taiga, as there'd be 2 near-death experiences, in that of Bjorn, the Velkin Druid, and Groswarl, the Bearkin Warrior. However, It'd be through teamwork and sheer will to save their allies that their lives would be intact, freezing to death, but still alive. Shortly after a blizzard would swarm the beaches and our heroes would look for shelter, they'd find what would seem to be the safety and that of a small campsite that they'd commandeer. However, upon gathering supplies and materials, the individuals would discover a tower as well as several journal notes and entries and upon looking at them, they would learn a horrifying truth. That upon freezing, they'd at least been frozen for 2 years in time. Unknowing of the current time and the location of where they may be, they'd figure out a plan, and that of the morning. Luckily, all things weren't too terrible as they'd reunite in a strange blink dog and Zappy once more. However, he seemed to be surviving with what seemed to be an astral collar. However, further in watches, our heroes would overhear frightening sounds within the night and would discover an astral horde of zombies and the corruption itself. Whether they survive the night and live to fight another day and discover what happened, well, my friends, we'll just have to see in session 3 of Rime of the Frostmaiden. And with that,
At least you didn't kill the dog.
I did not kill the dog. I said this, I'm a dog
Yes.
person. You should have expected that thing to live. If you don't see a body, expect them to be alive. I've said this in multiple things. Well, not like my D&D games, but just in general in media. If you don't see a body, they're always alive. Oh, man.
I think you just gave us a spoiler that if we don't find dead bodies, the person's still alive. So if we don't find the captain, he's still alive.
Oh, man.
That's what I heard.
Oh, goodness. He figured it out. Goodness.
Again.
Oh, wait. What the? Hold on one second.
Hey, I have my notebook. I'm gonna start writing notes, and I'm gonna figure this shit out.
Good. Please do. Because I've said this to the likes of Soulbound and whatnot. I recommend that everybody takes notes because, especially like when we get later into the campaign. Because in fact, I mean, you know, just how, you know, I said Bimroth, because I fucking saw your name in chat. Especially because how Voden is, considering it's like a giant sort of mystery. It's you're gonna get very confused very easily if you're not having one person track notes or you're keeping notes yourself. Especially like later down the line when you guys uncover a lot of stuff and all that stuff.
I don't take notes.
Well, Bimroth's just built different, so I mean. Oh man, he understood an entire intrigue campaign without taking a single note. I don't understand. He's just built like a tank or something. I don't know. But all right, let's get started with today's session. Alrighty, so let me change maps for you all, and let me fix the lighting on said map because I think it should be busted when I load it in over here, but I can easily fix it. Yep.
Quick setup question.
Yes.
Session 1 left off since I wasn't here last week. Session 1 left off with me still frozen in ice. Am I
Yes.
still frozen in ice?
Well, we'll find out in just a moment.
Oh,
Okay. So, you guys should be loading. Oh, wait, hold on. I guess I got to do this. I'll reset the lighting here, and then I will reset the lighting here. There we go. That looks better. Oop. Boom, and boom. And now, let me get you guys a little bit of ambience, and let's get started. So, back into the thick of things.
Those make a rough up moments have to be.
Just adjusting that. So, let's get back into things. So, as you five, specifically that of Groswarl, that of Lika, Anth, Bjorn, and Thorin, as you all are looking around, overhearing their footsteps from afar, you see an astral horde of the corruption. You look and see as they are slowly but surely almost towering and massively sort of increasing in that of numbers. and they're just slowly shambling towards each and every single one of you, or at least in your direction, one sort of step at that of a time. You hear that of this sort of almost weird, strange groans coming from them, and just the wailing sounds of pain and agony. And as it is, you immediately stop, freezing, trying to not make a sound. That being said, what do you all say, and what do you all do at this moment in time?
Lika would have been frantically trying to take out the fire pit with her tail, very haphazardly. It's kind of like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And then turning over to her boss and going like, there's a big horde of creepy things coming down from that side. Should we wake the others?
Yes, we definitely should. And would go around, start waking up everyone. Starting with avoiding the dog, going to Horin first. And, hey, I need you to wake up. I think there's something big coming towards us.
What?
There's a lot of dead things, I think.
Where?
Well, I would imagine pretty much everywhere besides, well, from the direction of the ice, but it seems there's a lot of them, so we should definitely try to move.
Or we could hide, pretend we did or something, and just hope they pass.
Well, yes, that's quite hopeful, if you ask me.
Are they on ice or are they on the mountain?
For the moment, it seems like they are coming from the ice. I haven't
just
heard anything from anywhere else yet.
hide down. Put down the fire and hide down. Think.
And we'll just wonder what will be the fate of the gunpowder.
Off to the side, Gross would feel like a little paw going up her, like the big part of her, one of her toe beans, and be like, feel a poke, unless she's not sensitive on her toes, but you would feel a poke, like a really small hand on your toe bean, and be like, get up, get up, get up, be quiet, get up, get up.
Real quick question as Girl is waking up.
Uh-huh.
Is the army like moving or are they just standing there?
They are moving at the moment.
Where
are-
are they moving?
Where are they moving? From what you can easily tell, they're moving the direction. You can make I could say roughly you can make an insight check or a survival check to see where they're probably heading. But at the moment, it's easy enough. They're heading in your direction at the least.
That's not good. Grozroral turns and is obviously freaked out, but says, "We need to. We should leave, but we should wait until we see if they are coming at us or if they end up going someplace else. We do not want to be seen by them."
Well, one thing to note, a couple things. As you guys are kind of just looking around, you're sort of scanning the area, just trying to get a general sense of things. You eventually turn and look into your camp. And what the hell is that? You look over off to the side and you see as this individual just appears. And he just stands there massive in size, just crisscross, sitting down, looking at each and every one of you guys. And you see this individual. And then you see as he just appears there and looks towards each and every one of you and just waves before tipping his hat. Not saying a word, just appears there, just sort of head sort of like trying to fit into this little small campsite that you guys made. Just
I suppose there was no door this time.
nope, he's just there.
Fuck.
Just ignore him. And he will go away.
I suppose so.
You see as he looks over and he probably the closest one, probably you, and you see as he just sort of points or hands you that of his hat and then points towards it. Do you take the hat?
Yeah.
All right. You see as you take the hat and stuff, you just see as he just sort of does like a shaking motion and points towards the hat again.
Is there a fucking bunny in there or something?
Sort of shrugs. Oh.
And tries to reach into the hat.
He does a little shaking motion again.
Takes his own hat and does the same.
Ika will look at this, look at Rick, look at the big thing, and look at Rick, and look at the big thing, look at the hand motions, and then like poke the bottom of the hat and like bounce it up like.
You see, it feels like something's inside of it, but you see as he just motions, he points to you, and like points to the hat, and then just does another shaking motion at this point. Like he is like rapidly doing this.
What the fuck do you want? Do I need to jump in?
He just sort of face palms.
Lika will reach up towards Ath and just kind of tap the arm. Shake and bake it? Shake, shake, shake.
He nods his head. He nods his head. You hear just a little groaning sound coming from him, and he's just like, he grabs that of the hat and he tosses it over to Thorin. Points, shakes, or does a shaking motion.
Just shake the hat.
Do you shake the hat?
Yes.
Alright. You see as immediately, you see as a portal begins to form almost directly towards that of the area. And you all see, oh boy. You see this appear before you. Right here. And as it does... Oh, go ahead.
Does that portal make any sound?
Not really, no. Not much of anything.
Okay.
But you see as this sort of portal begins to form directly below the area, and you see as this individual, or as you all begin to see this, you see as this strange sort of plague doctor man just sort of taps Bjorn on like his shoulder and then points like, hey, over there, and then just pushes him into the portal. Easy enough. And as that happens, you see as immediately this individual walks over, sauntering it for a bit. You see as he reaches down into the portal and then grasps something, palming or having it in one single hand, a head, and then a body, and sort of like places it over to the side. And you all see, strangely enough, a familiar individual, and that of Pyre appear. All right, Pyre.
Wait, who was shoved into the portal?
Bjorn.
Okay.
Where the heck is your thing? There we go. Bop. And you all see, immediately appearing before you, that of Pyre. He then looks towards you all, asks for the hat, and just sort of gives you a thumbs up.
Give the hand back.
Easy enough. You'll see as he will put the hat back onto his head, and he's getting ready to leave. Are you guys saying or doing anything, or letting him do his thing?
Let's not let him.
Alright. Almost like a Looney Tunes character, you see as he just immediately dolphin dives into that of the portal. And you see as he zips the portal up like a zipper. And it's gone. Oh boy. That was strange, to say the least. But
What do I see? Am I conscious coming out of this portal?
So here's the thing. So as you come out of this portal, Pyre, what you remember, obviously the last thing being that of the fight, the going underwater and all that stuff. But the last thing that you also remember was just kind of having strange dreams, just of almost as if like you were just sort of suspended there for dreams for who knows how long, hours, days. I mean, they all seemed kind of real, but then as you're dropped down onto that of the ground, no longer frozen and surrounded by that of the stranger individual, some familiar, some, for the most part, all of them are familiar to some degree. But
So basically, once I entered the water and went dark, the next thing I know is this. Okay.
yes, exactly. Besides like the dreams in the middle, but yeah. That being said, you see your companion right here just emerge. What are you guys all saying and what are you guys all doing?
Lika is currently on, not on Grisrarl's lap, but like really close to the other bearkin in the party, just kind of hiding and peering over while also trying to keep an eye out for the danger over there, looking at Flame Boy, and then just kind of like, okay, I don't know where to look.
Auroral would like right away go over and start checking him over for any potential damage or weird things that are not normal. I don't know. She's gonna check him over.
You got it.
The first thing I'm seeing is an 8-foot bear come towards me.
Yeah.
Pyre's
Sorry.
like
Yeah,
just no idea what's going on here. Just kind of like, wait, whoa.
She just like goes over like very professional, no nonsense, just like starts like picking up his arms, like kind of looking at his other arms, like turning him around, like checking his neck, like yes.
The whole examination.
Does Pyre look very closely to what his like art is in the token? Like
Yeah, his hair is a little less is more managed, but for the most part, yeah, he's got like basically got like his book at his side and he's got like standard robes on. Yeah.
Yeah. So Antrax would just look at him. Fuck. We need to hide you. You're like a goddamn beacon in here. You're just shining.
Do I give off light?
Canonically,
if they're
you
fire,
actually do, because if we gotta keep it, it's not a lot. It's not a lot. It's like 5 feet, and you can turn it off whenever you want to. You know.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
He's
but yeah, fire
in that
Joss is
case,
standard.
he's probably like just the way he was left, so he's probably then probably illuminated a little bit.
Yeah. You will hear as this sort of occurs, you will begin to look over off to the side. Everybody make a perception check for me real quick.
Yay.
With all of you, you guys look over towards about the northeast portion and quadrant, and you see as slowly but surely you watch as two corpses begin to almost crack and tear. You can hear that of their bones sort of shifting and cracking inside of them. And you see as they begin to, one by one, begin to lift themselves back up from off of that of the ground. And you see as, in fact, they begin to look towards that of the area where you guys are at. And begin to slowly walk forward. One by one, their bones crack and they begin to emerge and walk closer towards the camp, or at least where they see something. That being said, I need to explain a couple things before we continue. But, oh boy. One moment. Alright, everybody, I need everyone to listen up and listen well for just a moment. As you see more and more of the Horde shambling about coursing amongst this sort of astral mist and this astral light, I need to explain that cosmic death is potential and on the line. Now, let me explain what cosmic death is.
Fuck!
Welcome to Voden.
What the hell?
So, let me explain something real quick. Cosmic death is essentially this. If you die to any of these creatures, you cosmic death. Now, what is cosmic death? It essentially means that not only does your character die, but all of your characters you've ever played in Project Aurora also die. Now, to Lika, to that of Pyre, to that of Anth, this is not really relevant to you. For those like Bimroth, and also those like Sammy, it will be, as you have already played in Project Aurora, and you have multiple characters as well. From the likes of Vilmos, to the likes of Greythros, to even the likes of Wana, or that of Lonnie. So, that being said, if you die here to these creatures, you do suffer cosmic death, but there's more. If you die, and all your characters die, they are also erased from existence as if they never did or never were. That being said, you will need to use teamwork, tactics, and wit to outsmart these creatures and to be able to survive. And also, actually, wait real quick, I also need to do something. Here, I need to deafen everyone for a moment and contact one individual. One moment, please. Oh, boy. Deafen. Alright. Let's see who this individual is going to be, chat. Alright, Sammy. Hello.
Yes, hello.
Hi, how's it going? Okay, a couple things. So, here's what you hear. In your mind at the moment. You hear the following. I need you to trust me. Just this once. Please. Just for one moment. And you finally begin to hear almost a change and shift in their voice, and you hear that lastly. More of my minions. For more of my power. Make your decision. Sammy, I need to explain something to you. As the mark on your hand begins to sort of writhe with that of shadows, you have a choice. You can summon another creature onto that of the battlefield over here. And in doing so, if you all survive, you get one arc point, bringing you even closer to a level up for your entire party. Right now, you're at 2. And you can gain an additional one for a total of 3, if you accept this. If you do so, you guys will level up to level 2 faster, and so much more, and all these other things. But, again, you make this encounter, or this stealth, or whatever you guys want it to be, encounter significantly harder. That being said, choice is yours. You can summon one specific creature in doing so.
What would be Would you be able to share like the consequences of this action? Like in regards to how the party would perceive the situation? Like, would it be obvious that?
Oh no, they will not have any idea.
Oh, this is real tough. Would I know in character what the consequences of this would be? Like, do I know what this creature would be?
You don't know what the creature would be, you just know that it would make it harder for you guys to stealth around, but it's more than possible to do so, it just makes it harder. For sure. And all that stuff. But, yeah.
Well, the voice said trust me, so...
Oh, man. Alright, locking in?
Okay.
Alright,
Yeah,
you got it.
I hope I don't regret this. Oh, God.
You will see as they will appear within 5 minutes. Alright. That being said, I'm gonna undeafen everybody. And boom, that should be everybody. Boom. Okay. That being said, alrighty, now that you guys know that of the consequences or the risk. Oh, is everything okay with N? Everything good? Oh. Okay.
You're there.
Alright, dope. That being said, if everything's good over there, you guys may continue. That being said, you do so, to re-explain, you do see two individuals over off to the side, and they're slowly reanimated, and they're marching forth towards you. You also see as this strange horde is seemingly getting closer and closer to your position, and you see as they get closer, more and more individuals begin to animate off of that of the ground. What are you guys all doing in this moment?
Quick thing. Oh, never mind. You did it.
Quick question. Am I fully rested coming out of this portal, or am I in the same state as
So
when I went in the water?
Would realistically, so you would have gotten a short rest in at the least. But you actually, hold on. Actually, wait.
From session 1 to session 2 is...
Yeah, you would have gotten a short rest, but that's it. So you can't get hit dice and all that stuff back or anything else you get on a short rest. Do you have arcane recovery at level 1? Hopefully.
I do.
Dope. That's big. That is big.
Fucking wizards.
I think I do at least.
Yeah, you do. You do. So to take a short
very
rest, all you got to do is you got to double click on your token, and then look towards like where your character profile like the art is, and you'll see like S
Yeah, it
rest,
says...
and then boom.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. Well, that is all happening and stuff like that. What are the rest of you doing?
How far away are they? Like, can we see them from where we're sitting at the ledge? They're pretty far out, still kind of far away, but they're marching towards us.
Yes.
Is there like any other way in this particular place? Where we can escape? Like, is there like a hole of some sort or anything like that? Like, kind of in the back area of where we are in our camp?
Make a perception or investigation check, your choice. Keep in mind the map is active at the moment, meaning there are creatures moving all around you in real time.
Oh, you
Okay.
took my spell out accidentally.
Oh, there you go. Thorn yeets
well,
himself through.
Okay, I will roll a perception.
Alright, you got it. That of a 9, easy enough, or you're able to see through. I'm looking towards the area where Thorn eventually saw that of Zappy. You do see a little small crack that you could probably fit through. Granted, you could definitely do it with no problem. Other individuals, they may have a little bit harder of a time, though. So why is your token not adjusted?
I will look over to Anth and I will look at all the bigger people and be like, it's a bit of a risk, but I think I'm small enough to do it. Do you want me to scout ahead? I mean, I'm not the greatest at like scouting or anything. I'm small. And maybe I can find a way out for all of you?
I suppose there is like there are. You're saying that there are those creatures like all around us, so there's no direction that would be certainly safe. I suppose.
You do
Oh,
see
I don't
as
know.
the creatures are getting even closer and closer at this point. They're within almost nearly earshot of you guys. Only reason that they haven't probably heard you is from that of the blizzard or the blizzard happening at this current moment in time. That being said, they're only within a couple of feet of you. Gotta think fast. What are you doing?
Pyre saw them, correctly?
Yeah, everybody
Correct.
was able to see them.
Are they undead or they been reanimated?
From
Okay,
what
so
you could
they're
probably tell, they
obviously,
look
like-
like, yeah.
Okay.
They were dead. They raised from the dead somehow, some way. You could probably assume that they're undead.
Pyre illuminating light finally probably clicks like, oh yeah, and shuts it off.
Okay. As we begin to do so, you immediately snuff out that of the light, and as that happens, you see as the creatures begin to stop. Just sort of looking. Can just move even closer. At this point, you almost see as one of them begins to look down and then look up towards that of this sort of strange sky up above. Looking up towards it, you do see something strange. But you see that of an Aurora Borealis up and towards the sky. A color of blues, greens, and even that of purples. And you see as they begin to look towards it and begin to walk slightly elsewhere, but they're still, you don't seem to have alerted them, but you do see as they are walking around your position at the moment, and they don't seem to be moving, seem to be investigating that of the area, or at least shambling about the area at the very least. What are you guys saying or doing?
Is there a way for us to just GTFO like south? I can't remember like if we're like in like a crevice or something, or if we'd be able to walk.
So like, yeah. So as Liko was saying, there is like a little crevice there. Everybody, it would take a little bit of like time to do it, but everybody could get through there. Groswarl, you're a little on the bigger side, so it's you might need some help. You might need some help. It'll be very difficult to get you through, but it's possible.
I'm a
But-
chunky gal.
Yeah.
But is there a way that we could go overland south?
Overland south, you'd have to climb up here, and then rush over. But what you can tell, these individuals would also see you. So,
Hey, Gross, you said you checked Pyre out. Did you find anything? Or did you mention anything to him?
Did I find anything, Sensei?
you did, in fact. You find, the only thing of note is you find that there is now a strange sort of marking upon the palm of your hand, Pyre. And it seems to be that of a white circle with a smaller or blue circle in the center of it.
Is this noticeable as Graz finds it?
Yeah.
After Pyre's probably like patting himself out, like that's how he puts himself out and sees it and just kind of stares at it and like it just kind of freezes and is like just trying to process.
Or
Roz would
hold up.
also just hold up her
1
palm.
second. Make sure I didn't goof. 1 moment, please. Let me confirm that. Okay.
We're all marked. Woo! It's like
Gotcha.
the Black
Okay.
Pearl all over again.
Yeah. You see a white circle upon the palm of your hand.
A white circle?
Yep, and it looks like this. Oop. It's an in-game content chat.
Left or right hand?
It is the left. All right. What are you guys doing?
Auroraverse is going to tell everyone, go. Just go. I'll wait until last. I'll see if I can get through, but we all need to go, and this is the only way. Go.
We could also. Is it possible for like when both Anth and I and anyone who was taking watch, is there a possibility that there was also kind of like from here, is there footholds kind of over on this side, like around the rock, that we could take without them noticing? Oh, I can't hear you. I'm so sorry.
You're muted.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I was having a whole conversation, but no. If you wanted to like go out here and then just sort of run across this little area, yeah, you could easily do that. Or vice versa, if you want to go this way, you could.
What about this way?
Which way? Where you at?
Yeah. Go up here.
If you want to climb up to get there, yeah, you can.
Would we be seen by the two undead
Go here.
people?
You could probably imagine, yes, but it seems to be that you're probably going to have to figure out a way to, or your first sort of concern is you got to deal with these two individuals who are right beside you at the moment. So whether that be makes a distraction, take them out, like try to take them out as stealthily as possible, or whatever it may be. These two individuals seem to be of your concern at the moment.
Hey, Sensei. How far north can we see?
How far north? I can make... You can see up to about 60 feet with your dark vision.
Can I
basic
see up
dark
on
vision-
this ledge?
Yeah, you could see that.
So, out of character, I have dancing lights.
Okay.
And Pyre's contemplating casting it where they came from to try to get them to turn around to go that way. So, basically, to the edge of where I can see, that's what I'm contemplating as a player. Yeah. Screw it. I'm gonna do it. So I cast dancing lights as far as I can behind them to try to lure them away as Groswall is telling us to go.
All right.
Oh.
Let's see.
I-
60 feet. Go ahead, Thorn, while I'm getting this set up.
Yeah, as soon as he does that, where his spell lands, I'm gonna use prestidigitation to create small noise.
Ooh, smart, smart. All right, there we go.
I was
So,
thinking just the same.
1, 2... I'm lagging a little bit, but that's fine. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alright. So, as you begin to conjure that of the spell of Dancing Lights, and immediately going after that, you conjure that of a spell thorn, or conjure a sound thorn. What does the sound like? It can be a pretty much any, like, very, very short form noise.
You
Loud
heard my
footsteps.
horn.
Loud footsteps.
Loud footsteps, you got it. You hear as just a sort of thumping begins to emerge in that of the snow. You can hear the cracking of almost out of the ice of somewhere. And you see as the creatures begin to immediately just turn their heads, or as it cracks and looks around towards them and behind them. And you see as they begin to look and begins to just charge directly after that of the lights. You see as they begin to try to swipe out towards them, or swipe out and try to break them, however, is really of no avail. I assume, 'cause I don't think dancing lights can really get hit, but...
No, they can't. But Pyre would be watching them, and as they swipe, he dissipates that one and moves it and just kind of moves them around to really just keep them distracted for a while.
Easy enough. So moving around, keeping them distracted. You see as they're just chasing after it, and as they do, let's make a perception check for these guys real quick. Oh,
Okay, I'll keep using the prestidigitation to make the sound as he moves this moves it.
I'm assuming we're like exiting out of this crack now. Is that what we're trying to do? Okay.
Yes. All right.
Okay.
Quick question, Sensei. It seems that I'm glowing 20 feet of light.
Oh yeah, you don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not actually a thing here. I'm gonna change it. I thought I got rid of
It's-
it. I guess not.
It's just Lika's, cuteness orb as she radiates this energy. I mean, you're a red
Anyway.
panda.
That's true. I
Boom.
was looking at
There you go.
pictures of red pandas. Anyway, yes, yes. And this crack is easy for me to go through, and Zappy as well.
Yeah, it's that easy enough. He was already there anyways.
I will look at. I am thinking that if Zappy and I are going forwards, could I entreaty Zappy when I'll figure it out when I get up to the top. What check would you like me to make to get through this crevasse?
You are considered a small creature. You don't need to make a check.
Okay.
All right. So you can just
then,
move your token.
Okay, I will move my token up through and try to land up here. I will take my full movement.
All right. You got it. You see, as if you're calling for him, Zappy will sort of follow through, and probably eventually just sort of immediately begin to just surge and follow behind you, just kind of like affixated onto you.
Reluctantly, and yet at the same time, it's like, okay, well, you're furry and I'm furry and we're both cute. I will very hesitantly kind of reach out and kind of lift my hand underneath his chin.
He does
just go,
eventually
"Shh."
lick your hand. It does shock, but yeah, you're fine.
Did that create any light whatsoever?
One that you could understand is not significant enough. But it does, like, cause a little bit of a purple, like, sort of surge amongst your hand. But again, it's small enough where you could figure that didn't do anything.
Okay.
That being
Yep,
said,
and then I will wait for the others.
as Lika is sort of going across here, Lika, make a perception check for me. And while that's happening, what are the rest of you guys all doing with these individuals distracted from behind?
Fire Genasi have a that moving ability, right?
Yeah,
That we
where the-
talked about.
Yeah. Granted, that's
If we're
literally
trying
you
to-
using your hands to cause, like, flamethrowers below them.
Okay, that's good to know. Never mind.
Yeah.
Then he's not going to do that. He's just going to try to crawl through the crack.
Yeah. Alright, that being said, alright, you're crawling through the crack. Just make a simple dexterity check. Alright, is anybody else going through there as well? If so, make a dexterity check. Alright, 15. Easy enough. You're able to sort of squeeze on through that of the cracks below. You're still down below here, and you're having a little bit of trouble sort of moving. But eventually you're able to get to that other
right.
small little pocket over here. Anybody else going and following after them?
Because grass is not going in that place, right? It's too big.
She can try,
Yeah.
but it's a little bit difficult.
And either way, if she does, she'll wait until last. Like, y'all need to go before she does.
But we could try to climb here, right?
Yeah, if you want to.
Go the same direction.
I could go with you to create more distractions for you, just in case.
Okay. Well,
So if we climb, we should climb now.
Let's go.
Alright, you guys are climbing up.
and we'll join them with the climbing.
Alrighty. As you are doing so, you guys all begin to climb up. No roll needed. But as this happens and you appear over here, you see the entire horde and its size just immediately just beginning to grow and grow as more and more zombies, you swear, keep appearing, more and more of the corruption. And you look over and you see throughout the entire blizzard, you see that of a small light, a small bright light in just a strange area. You see as it's almost like a dot, and then you see as it begins to and then look directly around your general area, and you see, oh boy, this. And you just see as it begins to look all around the area. The figure itself seems to be that of almost an individual with no face at all. It seems to be just almost a beacon of light emerging from that of their head. Their same sort of astral corrupted form, and just sort of shifting and sort of almost twitching as it takes each and every single step. And as it does, you see as it's almost like a flashlight looking towards every last area. And as it does, you just hear as it begins to screech out. That being said,
Getting like Demogorgon vibes.
That being said, you see as it's looking directly towards your position, and it's almost it's stepping a little bit closer towards the light. Remember, my friends, the map is active. What are you guys doing as it's getting closer, along with that of the horde?
Right away, the moment the light comes in, knowing probably nothing about undead, but figuring that we're really in danger, Lika's gonna go towards Zappy and be like, "Do you think you can carry me? Let's run."
Pyre's gonna move away from the light because I'm assuming this dim light is basically illuminating as it's looking. Right? And
Yes.
is this a ledge here?
Where you at? Yes, it is. Also, real
So
quick, because I saw you did it early, just in case. Pyre, you have one hit dice. Were you trying to use it earlier, to heal up just in case?
Well, I was trying to activate the short rest and it wasn't resetting arcane recovery, so I was trying to figure out why. I was going to save it.
Okay.
Yeah, he's hurting. He's kind of like, yeah.
Easy peasy.
I'm
Just
trying to
make
get
sure.
away.
All right. That being said, you do see as the light is sort of coming onto that of Groswarl and Thor and is getting ready to approach on that of Anthrax. Even though that is happening, it's getting closer and closer, and you see as the creature sort of fixated on this position. It's not even moving. Its head not twitching at all. It's just staring directly at you guys. What are you all doing?
Okay, I tell Lance and Groswarl, okay, maybe we should use that barrel of gunpowder. Light it up and throw it down. I'm gonna run down further and I'm gonna create a very loud distraction.
I love the way you think.
Groswarl looks like really panicked and is like, "No, we need to go. We need to leave. I don't know what this is, and we just need to try. We should not be here."
You see as the creature's getting even closer at this point. At this point, it's walking only towards you guys now.
Do you
I'm
trust
gonna
that
take
thing
it
will
with
see
me. I'm
you?
gonna take it with me. I'm gonna buy you some time. While you and then you distract it away from me by throwing that barrel.
Yeah, Bergen lady, please, can you probably, it's probably easier for you to carry the gunpowder if you would come back with me and we could take it up. I honestly believe that it's our safest bet right now to create destruction and distraction at the same time.
Okay, then just you and me. Everybody else needs to run right now.
I'm going. I'm gonna make the distraction.
All right. So at this moment in time, you see as the creature's getting closer and closer. You immediately, after having a quick discussion, you charge forth. Oh boy. Wait, hold on.
I-
So,
Can
or Thorn, are you
Pyre
running
go
over here?
this way?
Yeah, I'm running a bit further down.
Oh shit.
All right.
Can Pyre run this way, or is he like up against a wall?
He is up
And-
against the wall. You got to climb up for it. But real quick, Thorn, what are you doing at this moment? You see as immediately you come into this site, and you see as the creature begins to look directly towards you, almost blinding you for a brief moment in time. And you see as the whites, you can see almost the entire area being illuminated for you. And as it gets ready to screech out, what are you doing?
As I said, I'm creating distractions so that they can get out.
All right. So what is your distraction? Is it just you being there, or what is it?
It's Thunderclap.
Thunderclap. All right, cast the spell. Let's see.
Can Pyre be climbing up this and just kind of like trying to get as far away from this thing as possible?
Yeah, you can be in the process of it. Make an athletics check. If Lika is helping you, can make it with advantage. Oh man.
You said acrobatics?
Athletics. My bad.
Athletics. Okay.
Oh boy.
Oh, the first one. I accidentally clicked it twice.
Gotcha.
Or-
Leak.
Well, wait,
it
Lika,
depends
are
on
you
if
helping
Lika
or?
was helping or not, or whether they're
Yes,
doing
I was
something else.
helping.
All right. So
I was,
16.
I was helping. Belly
Yeah.
crawling, and and all you see is a little white tail, so you can see it in the air waving up ahead, so you can be like, "Oh, that's where I need to go."
Oh no, he's just getting away from whatever that is, and all of a sudden
Yeah.
he sees Thorin run by. He's like, nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, alright.
Yeah.
That can be heard from 100 feet.
Alright, I had to prepare that. Alright, as you immediately unleash that of the thunderclap, you all begin to hear as this almost explosion begins to emanate. And as it does, you see as each and every single one of this horde begins to look directly towards you, almost in unison, Thorin. And as they do, you see as the strange, almost light walker looks towards your position and just screeches to the top of its lungs, alerting everything and everyone in the area. And with that, you see immediately all of these sort of strange creatures begin to charge forth almost directly towards this area. You can see the ones closer to the side are beginning to try to climb up onto that of the walls over here. You see as they're almost piling on top of one another to do so. At this point, you see as it is the horde basically unleashed at this moment. That being said, as the distraction has sort of occurred, you see it all focuses on Thorn at the moment. Groswall and Anth, you guys are back behind. What are you doing in this moment? I'm moving all the tokens as well. Got a little bit of time.
I suppose we were running back to get the box of gunpowder that we left in the camp.
All right,
As,
you grab
as
that of the
fast
gun.
as we can.
You grab the gunpowder box. It is a heavy thing. That being said, you have it in your hands. Anth, what are you doing?
Try my best to get it back to Groswall and tell her. Now try to get it as close back to Thorin, and we try to either explode, either just destroy the freaking cliff and, well, create time so we can get away.
Yeah. She takes it and then goes over to the edge of the where everybody is and gets ready to throw it over.
All right. That being said, you see as the creatures are sort of piling on top of one another, and as they are, you're getting ready to throw it. So you're not throwing it yet, correct? You're waiting to throw it. What are you waiting to throw it for? Are you like? I'm assuming you're like readying your action or something like that.
I mean, I just want to make sure that we do understand that we don't have fire for the box right now. So it won't do much if we just throw the box. So
Light up.
All right.
I don't have any torches at least.
Let me see.
I can light it
I
up.
have
I can light it up with prestidigitation, no?
I
Right.
literally can light it as a cantrip, and I'm nowhere close to be able to do so.
Yeah, I was thinking
I can light it up
about
too.
that. Huh?
Oh
I'm close
man.
enough. I'm close enough.
Can
Alright.
Auroraverse yell really loud? Can she just go, Fire Boy?
Alright, easy enough. As you do, you yell out "Fire Boy" and you see a Groz. Are you throwing the barrel at this moment in time?
Yes. She's
Alright,
throwing it as she yells it, and then like right after she throws it, 'cause like she wants to make sure her aim is good, right? She turns and looks over her shoulder as she yells it, like makes eye contact, and it's very obvious that she wants him to set this on fire, like momentarily.
As soon as I hear Fireboy, I'm probably gonna run where I am, and as soon as she throws it, I'm gonna try to hurl Produce Flame at this thing, and if I miss, we're fucked.
Oh, also real quick, because I missed.
Excuse me, sorry.
No, you're good. I missed one thing, a couple things from earlier. Groz, you got or you received an inspiration point. And Pyre, you received a health potion from chat. It's a D4. As well.
Thanks, please. I'm sitting on 2.
Yeah, sorry about that. But as this happens, all right, Groz, I need you to pick a location where you are throwing it, and I need you to ping. Based off of where you ping will determine the DC. This will be an athletics check for you, regardless.
So there's a little bit of a problem, and I wanna advocate for something. When I hit it, it's not gonna immediately combust, right? Because it has to burn through the chest to get to the gunpowder, right?
Technically, yes. It depends on how powerful the firebolt is, though. That's the main thing.
Okay. Because I can only throw it 30 feet.
So,
and,
like, if you roll a 1... With firebolt's 120 feet, I'm pretty sure.
I don't think... No, it's not
Or
firebolt, it's...
Produce flame.
Produce flame.
I see. Uh-huh. Yeah, you're gonna need to get a
See-
little closer right there.
Wheeling and dealing here.
Wheeling and dealing. Well, that being said, this is, I assume, Groz is just they are throwing the barrel at the moment. So, Groz, where are you throwing the barrel at the moment? You guys are gonna have to figure out how you're gonna light this thing, but ping on the map for me.
Right there.
Right there. Alrighty, you see as the barrel begins to crack and crash onto onto the area, but you need to make an athletics check real quick. DC isn't too hard. You do have an elevated position.
Athletics.
10. That's easy enough from where you're standing. You're able to throw it down, and you see as you throw it, you almost see as immediately you crack this zombie or this strange corrupted figure across that of the face as he begins to tumble down. You see as he is completely just covered over with that of this, or with the barrel. And as that is happening, it seems to be, well, yeah, it does seem to actually crack and break open. It's not really that much of a sturdy sort of barrel. It is right here. I'm going to I'm going to place a little light on the map for you guys. But the gunpowder is out and about and waiting for it to be, or waiting to be ignited. I'm gonna make that smaller.
How is, so the reason why I'm asking is how far, if I use the fly ability, is that basically like all my movement speed?
It basically replaces your movement speed. I believe you can go up to 20 feet. For flying.
I think it was 15. I thought we said 15.
15. Oh yeah,
I'm
yeah,
okay
it
with
was 15.
20.
It was 15. It's on your character sheet. I had to remember it, but I knew it was low.
So basically, in order to light this thing, I'm gonna use that fly ability to move 15 feet, and I'm gonna throw the flame, and my next turn is getting the fuck out.
All right.
So
That's the case. Let's get this thing for a moment. Oh boy, here we go. Here we go. Just in case.
oh shit, I can't get there.
I suppose you could use Firebolt, as I expect the box would be at least somewhat damaged when it falls down. So gunpowder should be on.
So
I don't have firebolt.
at this point, so as
you
Groz,
don't.
you're throwing that, or you're throwing that at the crate. Pyre, you were dashing forward to try to immediately try to ignite it. You dash forward with all your speed that you possibly can, and as you land, you look towards and you're just out of range. At this point, you see as the creatures are all looking towards you, they're all piling onto the area, and for the sake of this, so everything's more organized, your souls are shackled, and the time for battle and triumph is now. Everyone, I need you to roll initiative for the time being.
Instead
Alrighty.
of using fire, oh, never mind. Never mind. Ignore me.
You're good. You're good. All right, we're gonna track this guy. We're gonna call him Steve for initiative. All right. Let's see what we got. Woo, that's really good. Zombies are going last. That's what we like to see. All right. That being said, Lika, you look over and you guys aren't necessarily in common unless you guys are just, I guess, start fighting and all that stuff. But Lika, you see as immediately Thorn makes the distraction of the thunderclap. Grosworld throws the barrel and it begins to crash over off to the side. Pyre is dashing forward. What are you doing in this moment?
How far up did Pyre have to climb to go to the ledge that I'm on?
Only about like he just needed to reach up, and it was mainly just him like sort of lodged in between two spaces was the main problem. So it's like 5 foot.
5 feet. Okay, 5. Move 5 feet there. Anthrax is down below. They're all down below. They're all 5 feet down. Okay. 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 And we don't know. Okay. As an action, I'm going to. Not even an action. I'm just going to move forward. The rest of my movement up to kind of close to where Pyre is flying up. And as an action, I will take out a torch and my tinderbox, and I'll light a torch on fire as well.
Ooh, trying to throw it over here. You're just, you know the general area where it could be. That being said, I need you to make a dexterity check as you're trying to light the torch and then throw it and accurately land it somewhere near that of the gunpowder. Let's see what you got.
Can I use the help action for that? Or does that have to be on my turn?
I would like to use one of my.
Oh, do you want
Oh, okay.
1 second.
Can I use one of my inspiration points that I got from chat last week?
Yeah, like inspiration points last until you use them, and all that stuff.
Okay.
But you can also make it with advantage. Pyre can help you and assist you in this time.
Okay. I will take the advantage and I'll save my inspiration.
Alrighty, go for it. Roll one more time.
Wheel
Dexterity
it,
check.
deal it.
Ooh.
Well, okay, so for the first one was 14,
Yes.
and that one was a 9.
We'll take the 14. Are you adding anything to it?
I will use one of my inspiration points to make sure that it actually has a better chance of landing.
Alright, so 15. As you throw the torch into that of the sky and try to land it directly or towards the area, you see as it lands a little bit off mark, it crashes down below onto that of the ice and is very, very close. It seems to be almost catching flame to the ice itself, and you guess in a little bit of time it will be able to start burning that of the gunpowder, but you don't know if you have that amount of time. That being said, Alika, that is your action. You have a bonus action and I think a little bit of movement left. Anything else for us?
Can I use either tail hindrance or an unarmed strike as a held reaction?
Sadly, you would
Case-
not be able to.
And that's my turn.
Alright, that being said, while all this is happening, alrighty. Zappy's turn. He's going to see all this occurring and he is going to immediately just join in on the fun. And he is going to bark and blink over here to everybody else. You see as he's doing so, you see as he begins to just bark and bark and bark, trying to sort of cause a distraction of some sort. And you see as each and every single time he barks, you see as something is forming in that of his mouth, is sort of surging with a little bit of purple electricity. But that seems to be it. Alright, that is his turn. Pyre, you receive initiative. What would you like to do?
I think you're muted.
I think you're muted.
Oh, sorry, it was on my board.
You're good.
So I can see that this torch is gonna blow up this gunpowder, right?
Eventually, but it's going to take a little bit of time to reach over to it, and the zombies are climbing up the walls World War Z style. It's bad. You don't know if you have enough time.
Oh gosh. Okay. I'll probably move up, and seeing that they're still around it, I mean, I'm gonna go forward and use produce flame, and I'm going to throw it at the gunpowder.
All right. That being said, you probably need to get a little bit closer, probably like 5 to 10 feet closer, and then you could probably see it, or a lot better without having to try to lob it over and strike.
So basically there.
Yeah, over there you could get enough
Okay.
or better vision or sight of it. So
Okay.
you're lobbing it or you're throwing it towards that of the gunpowder. I need you to make an attack roll for me. You can attack just like a zombie over here or something if you need to.
Okay.
If you gotta like target something.
Do.
Oh.
Produce flame. Can I please? What? I had it. Okay.
There you go.
Produce flame.
Reduce flame. Ooh, that was nearly a 5. Oh god. 15 to hit and max damage. Alright, Pyre. Here's what happens. You see as these multiple creatures are climbing onto one another, climbing onto that of the walls, you see as the stranger sort of figure with that of the light for a face is screeching out with all of its lungs. And you throw the fire towards the gunpowder. You wait, and you see it doesn't do anything for a brief moment before. And you see as multiple explosions begin to emulate from this entire area. Oh boy, it's time. All right, here's what I need you to do. I need you to roll a d12 for me.
A D12.
The higher you roll, the better. That's pretty freaking good. Oh shit. All right, here's. Oh, wait, you might actually fucking. Okay, so that is. Oh my god.
Did you just say I might die?
You're pretty close to the edge there.
Holy shit. Wait,
So,
hold on. Hold on.
chances. No, Sensei. Can I just like go over to the edge, throw it, and then run back 15 feet? Because I have 15 feet of movement still.
That's
I
about
mean,
right
you
here.
use conjure flame. Is that like instantaneous thing?
No,
Okay,
I have
and
to
then I
throw
need
it.
the-
So in midair,
you have to.
technically,
Okay.
yeah.
Where is the angles
Interesting.
key? There you go. And that should be boom. Yep. I think.
I mean,
Oh
he
wait,
did
no,
say
it goes the other way as well. Oh no.
Yeah,
No,
it was. It was
Well,
200 golds of gunpowder.
Oh my god. You lucky son of a bitch. Okay, here's what happens. Alright, I need you to now roll 9d6 for me.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, that wasn't.
20?
Oh, I rolled a.
Well, here's the thing. Well, actually, hold on. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh. Alright. I'm not going to manually change all of them, but here's what happens. You see as you explode the entire area, Groswaro and Pyre, you nearly almost drop to that of the ground, almost falling into that of the mass and the chaos, and you see as you guys are immediately knocked prone. There is no way you are surviving that one, at least. Come on. But as this happens, you see as all the fire explodes out, and you see his guts and flesh are going abundant. And as it happens, the creatures are still alive, but they are at 2 HP. They are disabled and they are stunned for 2 rounds as the explosion, you see as even that of the ice itself is collapsing underneath them, and they're slowly falling into the ice as well. They are struggling for their lives. An entire portion of the cliff and the mountainsides begins to actually crush into that of the water as well. That being said, that's a good freaking round. What are you guys doing at this moment in time where they're all distracted and disabled?
With my remaining 15 feet, I'm running. That's where I get. I am like, I'm out of here, and like I'm just looking at you. We're going. I'm like, I'm going. Follow me or not? And I'm just
All right, let's go. Move your character and keep on moving. That being said, good stuff for you. And you see a light show in front of you as this explosion emanates. What are you doing?
A single tear rolls on his cheek as he wonders what he could have done with all the money that just blew up down there.
How much is that worth?
In last session, I remember something like 200 gold.
Yeah, it was like 200 gold at the least. Also, Bimroth, you receive an inspiration point from Max.
Yay!
Oh man, what are you doing, Anth?
I would move over here and good job, and keep moving on. As I think we want to move along around here to get away from the pack of creatures that's still down there, maybe trying to get up.
Easy enough. Are you using your action to dash,
Anthrax
or you
is
just
moving.
Oh, go ahead, Pyre.
As soon as the Anthrax says that to me, I was like, I'm going up. I don't know where you're going. And that's it.
Oh yeah, true. We would probably start moving around in this direction, so I would try to use my movement to get around here.
Easy enough. You can sort of jump off out of the rock and climb onto the other side. No penalty in movement. You're good to go. You keep moving. Is that where as far as you can go, or nah?
I think that's where I can go. And then I'll just shout out like, we should probably move. And that would be my turn.
If that is your turn. Oh boy, it's this individual's turn. Alright, one moment. I gotta see what they're capable of. Yep, and that, and oh no, okay. There is this. Alright, here's what happens. You see as the creature is almost blown backwards from the entire the concussion blast. As they are, you see as all the zombies are just completely incapacitated. They're dealing with that sort of thing at the moment. However, you see as this creature, they're definitely stronger than what you anticipated. You see as they begin, or as they're blasted forward, they immediately begin to stand up and rise, their bones cracking once more. And you see as they immediately shine that of the light directly onto you, or you individuals off over to the side. Alika, Thorn, and that of Groswaro. As this happens, you will see as he begins to raise that of his hands, begins to slowly jump forward and crack, and a little bit of a blue light begins to form, and he fires it off towards a random individual. So he can only see these three right here. He can see these within dim light, but you guys are more accurate ones. Alright. Groswaro, you're 1. Lika, you're 2. Thorn, you are 3. May everything be in your favor. That is a 2. That is unlucky. Alright. You will see as the creature will fire off a cold ray towards you. I wish you the best of luck, Lika. I really do. Attack roll coming towards you. Oh, that's not good. That is a 21 to hit. Do you guys have anything to make that not a 21 or to assist with that? I don't think you really do.
Hey,
not really.
I do.
Lika.
Kind of things.
What is your AC?
I have a 15.
It's a 21.
I have 3 inspiration points.
Only one person can apply an inspiration point to the roll, though. I don't think anybody has a total of 6, though.
Oh,
only one
no.
person. Is that changed now?
So,
Unless you guys got DM's inspiration, I think that's how it is.
no.
Go for it. What are you trying to do?
Okay. Do I see, first of all, do I see this coming towards her?
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
I reach over and I cast shield on her, which brings her AC +5.
So, here's what happens. So, typically, shield is only for yourself, but
It says you touch a willing creature.
Yeah.
shield can go on other people. Wait, what? Wait, what? My brain expanding?
I will use my 1 inspiration point to make that a 21.
It is self.
No. It is
self.
self. So, here's what I'll do. Here's what I'll raise you, Pyre.
Charmer.
Here's what I'll raise you, Pyre. So, If you want to reach out towards this individual and try to protect them, you can certainly try, but I need you to make an intelligence saving throw, and if you do so, you're only level 1, so it's gonna be a little bit harder for you. If you're able to successfully do so, not if you fail, but if you successfully do so, you will take a point of exhaustion. Do you want to do it?
Yeah.
Alright.
Ability check or saving throw?
Intelligence saving throw. This is for you to figure out a way to manipulate that of the spell in a brief moment in time. 18. Is that the final roll? Or you got anything else for it? Decisions. Let's go.
I mean, if I have any inspiration points, yes, because technically, isn't that enough to kill Lika outright?
We don't do overkill.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
No.
I didn't know. I was sitting there, I was like, I mean, I'm obviously going to use an inspiration on it.
Do you have any inspiration points? If you
not
do
that I know of.
If you don't remember, then it's assumed across all games that you do not have them. That being said, is anybody else affecting the roll? You got 5 seconds to go, and then that is how it is. 5.
That's pretty good.
I would just in case, I'll use my I have 2 inspiration points, so I'll just bump that up to 20.
20. All right. That being said, 20 was the DC, my friend. Oh God. Oh man. So here's what happens, Pyre. I want you to describe how you are casting the flaming shield to protect Alika in this brief flash, in this brief moment to deflect the arcane blast. What are you doing?
Man, I can't believe that worked. First of all, I was like, oh crap, I'm looking at Mage Armor.
With those
Yeah, no, that was my bad. I was like, yeah, it says it right here. I was like, oh shit.
It works right here. It's in my book. I swear.
I swear I looked at it wrong.
I'm messing with you.
I know. I feel bad. I was like, oh. Seeing because Pyre's kind of fire and ice is kind of how he's designed. He probably sees this very cold beam coming towards Lika, and being kind of the similar element, if I remember correctly, he just kind of just reaches over real quick, touches, and it probably flares out and kind of like in front of her, and that's basically how that would go. It's literally just kind of like a shimmering flame that comes in front of her.
Nice. As this is happening, oh man, hold on, I got this. Watch this.
Hey, he cares about the people that did leave him behind. I mean, he's also freaking out a little bit, but.
And as that is occurring, you guys see this sort of appear around that of Lika. If I can get it to work. Production value, don't fail me now. Please work. I beg of you. Fuck. Maybe? Hey, I did it. Production value. There we go. But you see as a sort of flaming shield begins to sort of surround that of Lika for this moment in time, protecting her for any damage or any harm. At this moment, you are very, very lucky. But now the creature is sort of frustrated, looking towards each and every one of you, is now going to start working its way and climbing onto that of the area. 5, 10. This is rough terrain at the moment, so it's going to have a little bit of trouble. 15, that is about as far as it can get, if I'm not wrong. Okay. Yep. That is about as close as it can get. Now you guys are in bright light as it's looking towards you. You see as all of the other individuals who couldn't see you now can see you, but again, they're also incapacitated and dealing with that sort of thing. That said, Groswaro, you receive initiative. What would you like to do?
Groswaro is going to turn and look at everyone and say, run, go right now, just run. And then she wants to move over somewhere around here and wants to like push a boulder off in the direction of the figure. To, I don't know. Hopefully fucking something, I don't know.
Make an athletics check to try to push a boulder, and you're trying to push it onto the individual that's actually, getting closer to you, right?
Yeah.
9. It's taking you a little bit. You're trying to immediately use all of your strength to push it forward, and you're able to push a little bit, but it's not not a significant amount. You're gonna need to take a little bit more time to do so. That being said, you can either continue trying to push this boulder onto the creature next turn, or you can flee. Your choice.
Just tell her something.
Yeah, if you want. You're right beside her.
Yeah, I'm just gonna shout to her. I'll do it. Just move away.
How strong does your character look?
I have spells.
Oh, that's right. You are a magic person.
That was my plan all along, to go to this.
Smart. Okay. She looks incredulous for just a split second, and then she's like, "No, you can do this." So she'll tell him, "Push as many as you can, and then you need to run. We all need to run." And then she turns to flee.
All right. That being said, you may move your character and do as you do. That being said, as you're attempting all of that, Thorin, you receive initiative. What would you like to do, my friend?
Right. I get over here.
All right.
In all those boulders, I'm gonna use Thunderclap to throw them down.
Okay. All right. Thunderclap. All right. Here's what I need from you. I need you to make a charisma saving throw for me real quick.
Charisma saving throw.
Charisma saving throw. Same sort of thing. This is you kind of manipulating the spell a little bit more in this moment in time. See how effective it is. 23. That's pretty damn effective. You immediately clap your hands together, and as you do, the thunder wave begins to emerge, and more of the boulder begins to crumple onto that of it, all of the enemies. I will say, wait, they only do have like 2 HP. Yeah, okay, hold on, one
Also,
moment.
there's the ice that they were standing on that
Yeah.
got roughed up.
Yeah, we're just gonna, wait, hold on, wrong thing. Hey, Bimroth.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm just gonna, alright. These guys, yeah. Alright.
That's a massacre.
And yeah, those guys, that's about as much. As this sort of emanates and they crash along, this individual, he's gonna need to make a dexterity saving throw as well. Oh god, this poor guy. Oh man, he's been through it. 13. He will take half damage, but he's still hurting bad. I need you to roll 3d6 for me, or Thorn.
3d6.
3d6. This is because you rolled a max damage and you're actually cracked. Alright, so 7 points to him. Not bad, not bad. You see as more and more of the boulders begin to collapse onto him, and it takes out a majority of that of the other zombies, and you see as this creature, he is still chugging along. He is relentless, and he's trying his hardest to climb further and further onto that of the wall. That being said, is that your turn, or are you doing anything else?
I moved back all the way back here.
Alright. That said, zombies' turn. They are still incapacitated, so their turn is skipped. Lika, you receive initiative at this point. You watch as the shield of flames and fire is sort of coursing amongst you, and you are protected. What are you doing at this moment in time?
My token says I'm unconscious, so
Oh,
I'm
here, I
pretty
gotcha.
sure there was a moment where I'm like, woo! I'm safe. I'm safe. We'll look over at Pyre, who looks slightly exhausted, and
Oh, he's completely exhausted.
Yeah.
Yeah,
very
dumb.
exhausted. Okay, it's 5 feet. I will help you to get up to this part here whenever you go up. Just to kind of help him. His crutch if I need to, and I will move up
Alright.
to about here.
Easy enough. as you rush over to this side, you're just sort of waiting there, getting ready to sort of help power up as he is exhausted. Is that your turn, or are you doing anything else?
No, that is my turn, and that'll be my action on his
When,
turn. So
yeah.
if he's having issues, he can get advantage.
You got it. Alright, Zappy's turn. You will see as Zappy is he looks over towards the explosion. He looks over towards the entire cliffs being completely eviscerated, and his eyes are going wide, and he's just sort of staring at there. And then he just looks towards all of you like, what should I do? That looks really cool, but what should I do?
Run, boy, run.
Zappy! Zappy, get up here!
Alright.
Get up here, puppy!
As
What's
in I
your-
wrote in my notes, GTFO.
And between all of you, what you're doing, Zappy will get the picture, and he kind of likes all of you. So he will eventually just sort of bark and then vanish and teleport off to the side. Probably between like and he's just sort of rushing around here, sort of not playing in the snow, but sort of pouncing into that of the snow and then looking towards each and every one of you guys and just barking. That is his turn.
Bitch is just having fun. So.
He's loving all of this. Pyre, you receive initiative. What would you like to do, buddy? You are exhausted at the moment.
So, I can still cast cantrips, right?
Yes.
Okay. For my action, I'm gonna cast Ray of Frost against this creature.
That's a nat 20, baby! Oh my
Frost
god.
for a undead.
Fire,
Yeah.
boys, on fire.
Holy
So-
crap. Go ahead.
If that hits, this
It
creature
does.
now has 10 less feet of movement,
Oh shoot.
because Ray of Frost does that. Until the start of my next turn, Pyre is going to turn, and he is just gonna run to the cliff and climb up, or he's gonna fly up, one of the two.
So here's what happens. I am so sorry, but
I
you
can't climb,
see,
probably.
no, you see as you hit the creature, you see as their form begins to freeze over, and as it does, they just break out of it, almost having completely no effect. They are immune to cold damage, and you see, oh my.
Is it immune to the effect of the slow as well?
I would say so. I would say so.
They've been living in the gold for a while.
Yeah. Oh man, it seems completely unaffected. So as it freezes over, you see as he like kind of freezes over like a crystal and
wouldn't
just
know that.
completely shatters out and charges forth. You see this and immediately turn around and cut and run to try to climb up to here. You easy enough between that of Lika helping you. No roll is needed, and it's not really like much of a problem to climb up here. And that being said, you can continue moving as well. Lika, your held action can go off. If you want to use the dash action or something like that, you may do so.
Yeah, I would run
All
if I
right.
can do that.
That being said, you all begin to charge forth, and as you do, you continue on that way. That being said, Pyre, is that your turn?
Yeah, that's everything. As soon as I see that doesn't work, he's just booking it.
You guys are close. You guys are close to being able to flee from the scene. The main problem is dealing with this guy at the moment. So far, so good. But that being said, and what would you like to do? Is you see your allies slowly but surely getting onto the cliff and just charging forth.
Just in range. I would like to.
Oh, real quick, because
Use-
I actually forgot. Lika, you received an inspiration point from chat earlier. And yeah. Alright, sorry about that.
Alright. So I will use Dissonant Whispers on this creature.
Ooh, okay, that is a wisdom saving throw, correct?
Yep.
Alright, wisdom saving throw for the creature. He is going to try to make it. Rolling. Oh, come on! That is a 16. You gotta have like 3 inspiration points to knock that down. That being said,
Can I knock it down?
you can if you want to use it.
Yeah.
I'm
the
using
DC
all 3
14.
of mine.
Alright, all three of the inspiration points.
Can I? Oh, it's only one person.
It's only one person.
Okay.
Oh man, you guys
Oh,
are
my
rolling
brain-
through your inspiration points. That being said, with 3 expended, you see as the creature looks directly towards you, the light shining directly into your face. You calm yourself and conjure that of the spell of dissonant whispers. And at this brief moment in time, you guys all watch as 3 sort of similar similar figures that you saw before begin to emerge. They seem to be spherical in nature and have these strange sort of fins. One's of different colors, one blue, one red, and even that of one pink. And you see as they begin to wrap around that of the Cold Light Walker and begin to just hold him down. And as they do, you watch as they all explode in unison, and the figure begins to go slack for a moment in time. That being said, what does Dissonant Whispers do? Anth, if you can explain.
Dissonant Whispers makes them hear awful noises in their heads and force them to move away from the caster of the spell.
Oh shoot! Now that's a good spell. That being said, as you cast it, alright, it seems to have taken effect. You see as they just look down onto the ground, just staring out into oblivion for a brief moment. And they slowly but surely are turning away from you all. Oh boy. Is that your turn, Anth?
Then I will take my remaining 20 feet of movement back to... Oh, never mind, not with that sword. Yeah. And get away from the light center. Now we definitely should move on.
Alright, is that your turn?
Yeah, I will end my turn there.
With that being said, Cold Light Walker's turn. He knows his job. He knows exactly what he needs to do. You see as he walks forward, or not even walks, he sort of sprints forward. 5, 10, 15, 20. And as you see as he's running across that of the ice, you see, just off in the distance, he's sprinting, and then falls in. And with that, that is the end of this encounter if you guys are running.
But I understand, but the creature cannot move into dangerous areas. It will avoid it even through dissonant whispers.
Dissonant whispers. That is. I'll have him make an intelligence check.
True.
I will have him make an intelligence check. He's not a smart guy because to him it's just water. I mean, he has fucking 8 intelligence. He's not really gonna be able to tell like, oh yeah, this thing's gonna freeze in 10 seconds. So I'll tell you what. Let's make an intelligence saving or intelligence check for him. That's 8. Wait, is that even accurate? Yeah, that's an 8. Yeah, he's falling in. he's a dumbass. Right? He just looks over. He's just like, oh shoot, maybe I shouldn't. Oh shit! And you see as he immediately plummets down. And as that happens, shortly after you, because again, you guys can see this as well, because you saw that or you experienced this literally last session. You see as the ice is slowly freezing over all of the individuals in time as they're all incapacitated and concussed from the explosion of pyre and also that of Thorin literally crumbling upon rocks, keeping them from swimming upwards. You watch as they all freeze over that of the ice, and you can see as they're just trying to like sort of palm and immediately punch through that of the ice below, but no effect. And with that, this encounter is defeated, and I'm a man of my word. So you all receive 1 arc point, bringing you even closer to level 2. Oh boy.
How many do we have?
You guys are at a total of, let me check, I believe 3. Could be at 4 actually, but let me check. You guys are at 3 at the moment. Currently, you're at 3.
2 more to go.
2 more to go. 2 more to go. Oh, doggo! Look at that, dog! Oh, I'm sorry, I got distracted. All right. All right. That being said, oh my goodness, good stuff, everybody. Good stuff. All right. So, as you guys are sort of traversing through that of the, or I'm assuming you guys are just sprinting for your lives at the moment, trying to get as far away from this thing as possible. Eventually, you guys see this sort of thing. All right. I'm gonna have to make a couple of notes if anybody ends up walking, because the thing is, persistent universe, that's the perks of this. If anybody walks across this area another time, like another group or something, they're gonna see something terrifying with just a bunch of corpses like frozen underneath out of the ice. Oh my god.
A beam
So-
of light coming through.
Yeah, that is terrifying. Go ahead.
Soulbound, send Soulbound the Ascent over here.
Oh man, maybe we'll see. But regardless, you all eventually approaching through that of the blizzard. We're gonna use theater of the mind for a little brief moment, and right here, you guys are here. So, as this is happening, you guys all begin to see as the blizzard is picking up and picking up. That being said, eventually after charging forward for a couple of minutes, you have a choice. Do you try to find shelter and rest where you are, or do you push along? You guys are at the cusp of finishing that of your long rest, and you guys are all exhausted at the moment, but, I mean, there's not really anywhere safe unless you head back to where you were. Choice is yours, what are you doing?
Hire during this time is going to use oh, arcane red. Oh, okay. Nope, I can't use it. Forget it.
So let me
My bad.
Let me get rid of these guys. Just to help out with freaking performance. Boop. Oh, that looks so nice. Alright, there we go. Alright, so what are you all doing at the moment?
Do we see the dancing lights through the snow?
No. I'm actually getting ready to get rid of it.
I just keep using prestidigitation to warm up my clothes as high as possible, so I'm not as cold.
It does help, but definitely ain't no substitution. About that time, you all are freezing, in fact, but
Can I
you're
just
trying
start
your
producing
best.
flame to kind of keep like a heat source?
Yeah, sort of like if you guys were all to crowd around him, Pyre, it does help out. Between Thorin and Pyre, Thorin, you're definitely able to keep warm. Pyre, yourself as well. Graz and Lika, yeah, you too, due to that of your thick fur. And you're having a little bit of a struggle, but I mean, you're probably the closest one towards Pyre, and you're able to at least get the job done. But you're definitely going to need to get a little bit more warmer clothing for that of the journey, and even for that of your survival. Regardless, you guys are able to continue on. So, what is the decision? Do you guys want to head back, or do you want to continue further inland and hope that? Oh, yeah, just hope.
I say
Eyes up.
continue as far away from here as we can get. We needed to go inland, so we should go inland, and we need to get away just in case any of these things come back.
I don't want to see those fucking creatures again.
Okay. We can try going forward then.
Fire's just quiet. Just
Confused.
concentrating on the flame.
So, as you guys begin to continue forward, one moment, please, and let me adjust this. Alright. Eventually, you guys, pushing through that of the cold, you all come across this sort of strange rocky structure. And you see as they seem to have almost pillars, almost like kind of statues, but not entirely. And they seem to be almost constructed deliberately here. And you see, well, this. Oh boy. Looking past, you do see a strange sort of spherical orb in the circle of it all. Seems to be just sort of floating there, not moving, sort of residing in that of the ice and snow. As you come across this area, what are you guys saying? What are you guys doing?
Are the pillars open? Like,
Yeah, the pillars are
is
open.
there
You could
like a-
walk through them.
Oh, I don't have
So,
I'll go towards
real quick. So these are like the things that you see on the map and whatnot. These are like kind of overhead sort of
like
things.
Stonehenge, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I just look around it. Look at it. Just inspect it. What the fuck? What the hell it is?
Make an investigation check for me.
Oh, investigation.
Oh,
Anybody, if anybody else wants to make an investigation as well, you can do so. Nine, 12, 15. Alrighty. So, 25. Jesus. Smart
you
boy
have a
over there.
wizard.
Oh man. Between all of you, you guys are able to definitely learn a couple of things. So the one closer towards you, you see as there is a symbol on it. A symbol of that of a serpent, or two in particular, seem to be coiling around one another. It seems to be that of a holy sort of symbol, emblazoned or branded on, not branded, but engraved into that of the thing. Your 9 investigation check, you're able to at least, and especially with your dealings and even that of your god, you know that this is Farika, or a symbol to her, the goddess of affliction.
Alright.
With that of a 12 Graz Roll, you're able to understand the same thing, but you also even see that you and Thorn definitely are able to see that of a structure, or that of another structure off to the side, and it seems to have Kuranos, the god of the storms, or typically referred to as the Storm Father to some. And it seems to be that he has a holy symbol as well. With your 12 and 15, you also see as bits of writing are on it. It's a little bit hard to tell what exactly it is, but between all of you, what languages do you all know? This is for
Common,
Groswarl and Thorin.
Common and undercommon.
Common and undercommon? Nah. Groswarl, what about you?
I think it's just common and whatever the bear language is.
It's just custom language of Bearkin. Hold on 1 second. I think we should be good. Alright, let me check actually. Alright, what about you, Pyre?
Sorry, I had dog stuff. He's going to the vet, so I had to take care of him. So, roleplay wise, you're asking what I'm doing as we approach this?
No, what languages do you know?
Oh, jeez. I have like 6. Common, Primordial, Celestial, Sylvan, and Abyssal.
It is, in fact, celestial. So, you look towards it.
Ground.
Yeah, you look towards the ground, yes. And you find what seems to be, especially with your 25, my goodness, almost writings of the sorts on both these sort of statues. Do you read what either of them are?
Pyre's still kind of a little dazed, and he's like, yeah, he's just kind of taking it all in, just being as someone that like looks into things and like is curious. He just reads it and doesn't even think about like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be reading it or something like that. If he knows it, he just gains that, like, just sucks it in like a sponge.
Alright, which one? So this one over here is to that of Farika. This one over here is to that of Kuranos, the Storm Father.
Probably the one that people aren't by.
that'd
So
be
this
Kuranos.
one.
Alright. As you look towards it, you begin to read the following, kind of haphazardly. You read, "The lightning bolt is a symbol of both Kuranos' fury and his ability to inspire. Pondering this combination, he entreated Puphoros to create a mighty weapon, a javelin that strikes with the force of the storm.
Oh, yeah.
Kuranos channeled his anger into a furious storm, which Puphoros then captured and smithed into a gleaming javelin that hummed with power. When Kuranos wants to send a message of either destruction or enlightenment, Epiphany is his tool of choice, the javelin of the Stormfather."
Cool. I can't write all that down. Can you send that to me?
I can.
Because basically, Pyre's probably gonna read this and start jotting it in his notes and like keeping track of what, and he's probably just gonna.
It is an
Just
in-game
kind of-
content.
Okay, perfect.
And fuck it, I'll throw it in chat if anybody wants to copy it down into their notes.
Beside Pyre, Lika is just going to just keep him steady with her tail, walking alongside him. She has decided to be the unofficial crutch whenever somebody gets injured. That's just the role.
That being said, Pyre, you look over and you see a bunch of myths and tales of Kuranos, and from what you can probably understand, 25 seems to be that there are probably more myths and tales of, well, multiple gods here.
He's a sponge. He likes knowledge, so he's gonna just, over time, just gonna keep walking around this area. Probably not going towards the center since there's a light in the center,
Yeah.
but probably around this outer ring.
Alright. As you're going across the outer ring, you see the likes of Ephara, the goddess of the Polis, and eventually that of Erebos, the god of death. Passing along, you find that of Aetherios, the god of passage, and then eventually Heliod, the god of the sun. Nylia, the goddess of the hunt and the four seasons. And then eventually come over to here, Thassa, the goddess of the sea. And as you're going around sort of looking about, sort of grazing them, you can tell me which one you would like to learn more about. While that's happening, however, Thorn, Groswarl, and Anth, what are you all doing?
Just making a face of disgust, looking at the holy symbols, and just walking past them towards the light as if in defiance of everything they all stand for.
As you begin to do so, you just look and see more and more of the gods' tales. You eventually find the likes of one of Phonax off to the side to your left, and another one to Karametra, and you scoff at them both. Continue forth, closer and closer towards the light. And you see as the sphere, it seems to just sort of reside there, just sort of floating about, not moving, or calling. But to you, let's see. No, that is it. Alright, so Thorn, as you begin to march forth, is there anything you are doing or anybody else is doing?
I'm going towards that light and try to investigate it.
Make an investigation check for me. Alright. 8.
That was so close to 20.
So what it seems to be is, it seems to almost kind of reacts a little bit as you get closer and closer. You look towards that of your hand, or the palm of your hand, where the purple sigil is. It seems to sort of flicker for a brief moment in time, and then it begins to just sort of dissipate and begin to go dull.
Okay, I'm gonna take another look around all the pillars, thinking about it. Then I'm gonna cast protection from evil and good on myself. And then I'm gonna touch that orb.
Alright. Protection from evil and good. Let me see. Ooh, okay. Alright, so as you begin to touch that of the orb, you place your hand upon it, and it feels cold to the touch. It seems as if, there is a power here. However, it seems to be completely nullified with that of the spell. Nothing seems to happen. But you can definitely feel something yearning to happen. That being said, while that is all happening, Anth and Groswarl, what are you all doing? I love saying that name.
I was thinking, I suppose all the stones are in, like, the same language is used in every single one of them, right? Or...
For, some, it is. Not all.
Okay.
Eventually, you're closest right now to the one of Phonax, to your left, and the other one to the right is, to that of Karametra, the goddess of harvest. Right. Are you reading the one to Phonax?
Yeah, I would like to see what I can get out of that, if I can get anything out of it.
Alrighty. You see... Alright. Funny enough. You see one of two. You see something labeled The Path of Phonax, and the second one, The Feud with Nylia. Which one do you read?
Well, was it The Feud with Nylia?
Yes.
Okay, I would like to read that.
Alright. Here's what you read. As you look towards it, and Roswell, this actually does catch your eye just a little bit, just in passing.
Okay.
You read the following. A pair of accomplished hunters, both fervent followers of Nylia, had a bet with one another to prove who was better with the bow. After countless tests found them equally matched, the hunters' rivalry drew Phonax's attention, the god of deception. Assuming the form of a dryad, Phonax goaded and taunted the hunters, though amusing at first. Or Phonax's words cut deep, making the hunters careless. Thus, when the dryad suggested a blindfolded test of marksmanship, the hunters agreed. Once blinded, Phonax positioned the hunters to shoot one another, and in the moment they fired, though Nylia noticed Phonax's trick, she curved her hunter's arrows mid-flight and multiplied their number. Phonax's disguise shattered as he was riddled with arrows that pinned him to a great tree. And Nylia appeared to the trapped god, mocked his pointless duplicity, and warned him never to threaten her followers again. She then left him to struggle free from deeply embedded arrows into that of his flesh and chest, an escape that took over a week to get out of. And during that time, the god concocted a plot after plot to have his revenge on Nylia. And some tales claim that to this day, that embarrassment directly led to the tragedy for Nylia's favorite dryad companion, an Arasta. Are you reading this out loud? And
No.
Okay.
No, I am not. And yeah, can I have that text in the in-game chat or something to save up? So...
You got it. One moment, please. Oh boy. Nope, none of you. Okay. I got you in one moment. Alright, boom, boom, and I will drop that in chat if anybody wants to see it. Boop. Oh,
Hey, Sensei.
character limit. Okay, yes.
Pyre's just gonna continue to basically copy this all into his notebook, so he's literally just gonna read like everything.
Alright,
Someone's
that'll
gonna have
take
to
you a little
drag
bit
him
of time.
away from it. Yeah.
That will take
No,
you a
someone's
bit
gonna
of
have
time,
to
yeah.
drag him away from this place.
Yeah. Alright, that being said, which ones do you make a note? Are you just going like directly in a line, or which ones do you make a note to make sure to read first?
I basically started where I was and just continued all the way around. And I'm literally just copying it all my notebook as by. And like I said, someone's gonna have to drag me away. So wherever they drag me away is how much I've copied. So if I made it all the way around, that's what I want to do.
Alright. In that moment in time, while that's all happening, go ahead,
Also,
Luca.
wild magic.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah. That is
Do
a
I
thing.
see Thorin like poking the shiny thing in the middle?
You do. But you might also see something else. Thorn, roll 2d20s for me.
Oh wait, 2d20s.
2d20. Oh boy. Okay, one moment. I gotta make sure I did that right.
And the wild.
Oh, okay. Hold on, 1 second. I gotta make sure that I did this. And oh no. Yeah, that'll do it. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I had to homebrew my stuff, or I had to homebrew it because I wanted it to be more chaotic, but also a little bit somewhat tamed in other departments. Oh boy. And you rolled a D1000 for 835. Yeah.
Yep.
Give me a minute. I gotta go find the table. Oh goodness. One moment.
I want what the fuck that be.
Professor
a
Aurora has been
planescape.
watching the whole time, by the way. Like, she hasn't entered the circle because she's like, what the hell is that? But she's been watching, so this will be great, I'm sure.
What the fuck?
What is it?
Okay. Hey, here's what happens. Here's what happens. Okay, you cast that of the spell, and you see as you're reaching out your hand. Well, first, one thing of note. Oh gosh, which one is even crazier? I don't even know. Okay, the first thing that happens is you see as your hand is completely like explodes for a brief moment and is covered in glitter. And it's the bad glitter. It's the glitter that doesn't come out. That one. The other thing is you watch as cream puffs begin to fly out of your hand and towards that of the orb. And they just smack into that of the orb and into that of the snow. I can't make this up.
Which one was the wild magic?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, Lika would have seen this for sure from where she is, and she's dashing. She's like, she is dashing right to the center, and she's gonna see glitter and cream puffs.
Oh boy. First off,
That's a
Thorn,
good
make
day.
make a perception check real quick. Okay, never mind then. Alright, so you see Lika merging, and you see cream puffs as they're like slowly falling towards the ground. It's almost like a slow motion thing, and you charge forth directly towards it, and you see as all the glitter begins to just cover that of Thorn's hand, unsure of how the heck it got here. What are you doing?
Me or Lika? Oh,
Both.
Lika.
It's just-
Oh, I just look at the glitter on my hand. I don't care about the cream puffs.
I look at I look at the spear, I look at the thorn, I look at the glitter, and I look at the cream puffs. And I will quietly approach kind of right beside to where I see a good smattering of cream puffs. And then I'll just look at the big glowing orb and be like, can I take some?
I guess I don't know which one I made.
Okay. She's gonna reach out for one of the cream puffs, and she's gonna hold it in her hands and look at it and be like, "Oh, you didn't make this?
Either this or the glitter, or both.
You
I'm
you
just-
made it, or did you make it?"
Let's say it started appearing. crazy things happen when I cast magic.
I like your magic. And she kind of pats your toe a little bit with her tail. And she goes, okay, I'm gonna try it. And she's gonna bite into the cream puff.
Pretty tasty. A little bit of snow, but pretty tasty.
I'm gonna keep looking at that glitter, what it is, try to scrub it off.
As you do, you look over towards Lika, and there is just glitter on her face.
Oh. Okay. I'm gonna finally touch that necklace as well.
Oh shoot. I completely forgot about that. Hold on, 1 minute, I gotta go find this thing. This is in the deep notes now. I was like, alright, I guess he's gonna forget about that. Okay. You come back to that, or we'll come back to that in a minute. Is anybody else doing anything?
How could this ancient of chaos forget about that?
Oh man.
Are there any cream puffs that are not near or covered in glitter?
I mean, yeah. Well, no. No.
They're glitter bombs of goodness. While she's eating the cream puff, and you can see her like walking around the orb, picking up a cream puff. She's got like 5 of them in one arm, and 1 of them and another 2 in the other arm, and 1 kind of in between her mouth. She's gonna stare right out at the orb and kind of look right into it. She's not gonna touch it per se. She's gonna look right into it and see what she sees.
Okay. Alright, sorry about that. So you're looking at the orb and seeing what you see?
Yep, I want to see if this thing is out here to harm us or is just out here to glow dim light.
Alright.
Lots of light.
As you begin to do so, you look towards that of the orb, and you see a kind of an arena, kind of coliseum sort of thing. You see as it is empty, with this strange sort of glowing light, kind of similar to that of the orb, amongst that of many or several statues. It doesn't seem to have anybody in there, or even anybody on the arena or the battlefield itself, but it just sort of sits there. It kind of has this strange fog to it as well. Glancing towards the orb, and then eventually your senses come back to you, and you look around and you're back in the Azure Taiga. With Thorn.
Did I go anywhere, or was that all mental?
It all seemed mental, as if like your vision sort of all your surroundings begin to just completely vanish, and you were only focusing on that of the orb. It seemed to be that was your sight for a brief moment.
Okay. Thank you.
Thorin, as you examine that of the necklace, it does seem magical, from what you can tell. And from you casting that of protection or evil from good, it does seem to almost resemble a similar type of magic. A kind of abjuration.
Okay. And I still can't take it off, right?
Nope.
Yeah.
That being said, it does, if you want to, you can attune to it, but, that's up to you. You gotta take a short rest to attune, well, you gotta take a short rest to attune to it and all that stuff, but, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
If there's a chance for me, Anthrax would read all the text that he sees on the stone, if that's possible at some point then.
Yeah, you can. So, and then real quick, because I wanted to make sure. So Pyre's reading over here. You're touching the or the orb, and you guys are looking into it. Anth's about to read another thing of Phonax and Groswarl. What were you doing?
Standing back, not getting glitter on herself, and just watching to see if anything good or bad happens either way with the orb.
Alright. That being said, alrighty. So for the, you read the Path of Phonax, and you read the following. Phonax once or was once a mortal who, like all mortals, passed on to Erebos' care, Erebos being the god of death, passing into his realm and domain known as the Underworld when his time among the living came to an end. But Phenax found a way to escape the Underworld by sacrificing his identity to the memory-draining waters therein. Here, he was able to cross the rivers that ring the world wrapped in a shred of Aetherios' cloak, Aetherios being the goddess or the god of passage. Since he had no memory or no identity, Aetherios couldn't detect him, and thus Erebos couldn't use his great lash to pull Phenax back. When he emerged back into the realm of mortals, he did so as the first of the returned, an undead. In time, Zelda discovered his quandary of metaphysics, which is now known in the underworld as the Path of Phenax. This is something you've actually, Anth, you've heard of before many times. Of almost sort of the knowing of, like, if you ever get stuck in the underworld, it's just a myth, it's just a fable and a legend, but seek the Path of Phenax to return to the realm of the living.
Alright. So this is more like a confirmation of it than any new information, I suppose.
If you interpret it that way, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
That being said, as this is sort of happening, immediately Thorin and Graz, you guys are looking about, and you sort of sense a shifting around you. Something moving.
Is it from the orb?
It's not from the orb, it's just almost, you sort of try to like get a hold of your senses looking around, and it just feels like all around something is moving and shifting.
From underneath.
Begin to look down, getting a hold.
Yeah.
You begin to see something move amongst that of the snow below you. And then immediately, you see as the hesitation happens and occurs, and immediately jutting out from that of the ground towards your companion beside you, you see as almost a skeletal hand begins to emerge out and grasps that of the ankle of Alika, just holding them in place. And as it happens, oh, Graz, did you want to say something?
Well, if she can, she would like to run the fuck over there and grab Lika, try to pull her out.
We'll see that in a minute, because as that happens, you look around and you see as several other individuals, another individual begins to emerge from that of the ground around you, and you see as several skeletons begin to form. And as that happens, oh boy, your souls are shackled once more. And the time for battle is anew. Oh boy, here we go again. It's bad. It is very, very bad. Alright, I need each and every single one of you to roll initiative once more. And first off, Vika, I want you to know that you are at the moment in time, or at this moment, you are considered grappled. Alright, 5, that should be good, and I will reveal these individuals. One here. Oh wait, whoops. One here, and one here at this moment. Alright. That being said, let's get the combat music started. Oh my god. Where the heck is... Oh my goodness. Where is... Oh my gosh, I cannot find it. Alright, here we go. That should work. Alright, so, as that begins to occur, everybody's rolled initiative, correct? Alright, if that is the case, then let's roll initiative for that of the enemies, and let's see what they get. Ooh,
of course.
That's not good. That being said, Groswell, you still need to roll initiative. All you gotta do is click in the top right of your screen, and then...
I thought I did.
Oh, did you? Let's see.
I did, yeah, I just did it, like, I'm at the top. I got 14.09.
I got you. Update combatant, 14.09. Boop, there you go. There we go. That being said, as this occurs and happens, you see as multiple creatures begin to emerge from that of the snow and out of that of the ground. You see as the environment, or again, because you guys are in the midst of a blizzard and a snowstorm, you see as your vision is a little bit weary and you're having a little bit of trouble seeing, and you have almost no idea where Pyre is. You know he went off to that, or over off to the side. You have the general direction, but it's rough. That being said, at the beginning of combat, and you look over and immediately you see as your lifelong companion in that of Lika, or has a strange sort of skeleton emerging and almost dragging her into that of the snow. What are you doing at this moment in time?
Immediately moves to that exact same skeleton, and I will be trying my best to just defeat it.
All right. With an 11, you try to swing forth. Ah, man. In another timeline where we had flanking, that would have hit, maybe. But as you try to swing forth with that other short sword, trying to strike the creature down, you see as immediately it begins to just sort of push you back and just begins to keep and continue clawing into that of Lika. That is your action. You have a bonus action. Anything else for us?
Yeah, I was thinking, wait, can I use bonus action to do swing with my other weapon?
You can with two-weapon fighting if you have a secondary weapon.
Yeah, I do have a secondary weapon.
Go for it. Ooh, 9, not gonna cut it. You try to strike forth, and you see as immediately the wind or the sort of wind from the blizzard is sort of throwing off your aim. You try to strike, but you're not able to make purchase. Is that your turn?
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else. Yep, that's my turn.
Okay, Skeleton's turn. Which one is that? That is this guy over here. You'll see as he emerges, he sees all the other individuals, and you will see as he begins to take out that of a short bow and begins to aim it true, firing towards one of you, specifically towards the closest individual, being that of Thorin. Alright.
Yay.
That being said, you have protection from evil and good. So, what happens as this is clearly an undead?
He gets disadvantage.
Disadvantage, you got it. Skeleton. That is an 11, and that will completely miss. You see as it goes flying, and it's having a little bit of trouble sort of or shooting that of the arrow. It goes flying and embeds itself into that of the dirt. That is his go. Next up is the second skeleton. Over to the side, the one grabbing that of Lika. Alright, this individual is going to try to drag you forth and almost just pummel and suffocate you into that of the ground. I need you to make an acrobatics check or an athletics check to resist that of the grapple. He is going to make an athletics check. Alrighty. That is a 10. That is an 18. You see as he's able to drag you forward, and he just immediately slams you out of your head directly into the ground and is just suffocating you. At this moment, Thorin and Anth, where you see this occurring, and Anth, you especially, I would assume, is probably enraged at the moment. That said, that is his turn. Next round, in a moment, you will start suffocating Lika. Alright, better get out of there quick. That being said, Lika, it is now your turn or to receive initiative. You are considered restrained at the moment.
So I have to break out of that grapple.
If you want to. Keep in mind, you can still punch and kick and all that other stuff, you just do so with a disadvantage. If you want to break out of the grapple, you have to use an action to make an acrobatics or an athletics check.
Automatic response, she's gonna punch him.
Alright, let's go. Make an attack roll with advantage, or disadvantage.
Yeah. It's not rolling. Let me roll.
I think you gotta click the button. I don't know why it does
attack.
that. Ooh, 9. Nah, it's not gonna cut it. That being said,
bonus.
oh yeah, go for it if you want to use your bonus
I
action.
have a bonus action. Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Cool. As a bonus action, I will target the creature within 5 feet of me. This being the creature with my tail, whap it really straight on the head, and that creature has disadvantage on my next attack roll.
All right. As you begin to do so, you're immediately trying to distract that of the creature as he's trying to pummel you into that of the ground. You immediately use your tail to sort of get into his face, and that is your bonus action, your action, and you can't move at the moment. So I believe that is your
Should I roll to see if that works?
Let me see. 1 second. Let me check it.
Because Foundry says standard roll. Side info.
Tail, handles, blah blah blah. Bonus action. No. You don't have to worry about it, but it does take your bonus action. On top of that, you can only use this ability again upon using that of a short rest, which you have, or you've already taken one, so you have the ability now. But further past down the line, you wouldn't be able to do it again until you rest. But yeah.
For flavor, the tail is hitting his crotch.
He is angered and he is just confused at the moment. But Groswaro, it is now your turn. What would you like to do?
I have a quick question first. For actions in combat, can I grapple and attack, or can I just do one of the two?
You can, but you're not high enough level to do so. So a grapple takes an attack. Okay. Well, technically, yes. Do you have what weapons do you have? Let me see.
I have a ton of weapons. I am prepared.
Oh
I'm
my
a very
gosh.
good Girl Scout.
Do you have any light weapons? I think you have a whip.
I have 2 hand axes that are light.
Okay. So technically, you would be able to. So you can use your action to grapple, and then you can use 2 weapon fighting as a bonus action to hit them. Anyways.
Excellent. I would like to do that.
All right, you got it. You rush over towards the creature, I'm assuming?
Yes.
All right, and then you make an attack roll, or not an attack roll. I need you to make an athletics check to grapple. He is going to try to make an acrobatics check to resist. All right, let's see. Boop. That is an 11. That is an 8.
Do I have advantage from Lika's tail hindrance? Is that like if this counts as an attack?
Nice attack roll. Next creature who attacks this enemy has advantage for the next attack roll. Yeah, I'll say so. Yeah, you have advantage. It makes sense. 21, Jesus! That being said, with a 21, you immediately, or actually, yeah, you describe how are you grappling this creature?
She just goes over in like her giant, almost 8 feet tall, 400-pound bear might, goes over to this thing and just like bodily like goes over it and like wraps herself around him and then like rolls away so that Lika is squished underneath. But then she just like rolls over and like pins him on the ground with her whole body.
Well, you have a choice. So are you do you want to just grapple the creature so they're grappled, or do you want to break the grapple between Lika and him? Which one?
Oh. Lika, how much do you trust me?
American to barricade, and I trust you with my whole life right now.
Excellent. I would like to just grapple him.
You got it. All right, as you begin to grapple him, you have your bonus action if you want to make an attack roll towards him. Granted, it does a little bit less damage, but you can still make the attack.
That's okay. Does it have to be with a weapon specifically, or can I use my unarmed fighting as the attack?
I would think it has to be with a weapon specifically.
That's what I figured.
I think it has to be a weapon.
Sure. Okay, cool. All right, Lika, let's go.
What you do have an unarmed fighting style? All right, that being said, a 16 to hit the creature, that will hit. I need you to roll a d6 for me. So look in the bottom right, you'll see the d6 in the screen, or the bottom right of your screen. And then you just hit roll.
Oh. Jesus.
Take
roll
the first
2, sorry.
one. That first one is a 4. So here's what happens. As you immediately grab that of the creature, you take that of your hand axe with your other free hand and embed it directly into that, or into its frame. That being said, you see as it yells out and it just begins to clack amongst that of the surface. It takes a lot of damage, but it's still alive. That being said, Groswaro, I believe that is your turn. Yep. Alright, Pyre. You hear the sounds of battle emanating from afar. You hear that, you just don't know exactly where it's coming from. You gotta get a little bit closer to the sound. You're reading. What are you doing?
I want to ask a rule clarification. Health potions.
Health potion.
Action to
yes.
take or bonus action?
Bonus action to take. To feed a health potion to
Cool.
someone is an action, though.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Hearing that there's a scuffle and knowing how bad, I'm going to take the potion as a bonus action then.
Alright, it is an Auroran health potion, so only roll a d4.
Okay.
And at level 1, that's pretty helpful. 2, we take that.
I doubled my HP.
There you go. You feel
Just
a lot
saying.
better, but that being said, the scuffle is happening. That is your bonus action. You have an action and movement.
Can this skeleton see me?
He doesn't seem to be focused on you at the moment.
Okay. Actually, so I only have cantrips left.
Level 1.
Yeah, no. Well, and the thing is yeah. Anyway, I am going to target the one over here that I can see because I'm assuming that this is like an arch based off the shadow.
Say that again?
Is this an arch based off the shadow it's casting?
Yeah,
or is this
it
a
is an
solid
arch.
slab?
It is an arch.
Okay. I'm probably gonna move there, and then I'm checking distances just to make sure. Nope, I'm gonna move fully so I can get within range, I think. And then I'm probably gonna cast Ray of Frost on him. I want to make sure
Alright.
that I've got it so I can. Yeah. So I'm gonna cast Ray of Frost.
Alright, make an attack roll directly towards them, and let's see what you got. Ooh, a 10. That being said, you fire it off, and you see as it crashes into or off to the side, no effect. That being said, that is your action. That is your bonus action. Is there anything else you can do on your turn?
No, that's it.
Alright. That being said, you continue forth, and again, more and more you watch as your vision, all of you, slowly begins to sort of worsen as more of the blizzard begins to pick up and more of the fog begins to occur. As that happens, next up in initiative is Thorin. What would you like to do?
Mind Sliver.
You got it. Towards the creature, intelligence save. That is a 7 to him, and he will take 5 points of psychic damage as you try to almost destroy that of his mind with one single blast. That being said, does anything else happen with Mind Sliver? I'm pretty sure it does. I always forget though.
Well, it's not really relevant for him at the moment.
Alright. If that is the
The next saving throw he makes will have disadvantage.
Oh, okay. Good to know, good to know. Alright, that being said, that is your action. You have a bonus action and movement. Anything else for us?
That's my turn.
Alright. That said, Thorin, as you send out of the blast outwards, Pyre, you look over, or you look behind. Oh man, that is unlucky. It is right there. Pyre, as you're sort of rushing forward, you see immediately emerging from that of the ground, another sort of skeleton begins to wrap around and grab that of your ankles, appearing right here. You placed yourself right beside him. Oh my god. Another one emerges here. Another one emerges here. And another emerges here. As you all seem to be surrounded at this moment, and some of you are grappled in this time. As that occurs and happens, skeleton over here has initiative. He is going to shoot an arrow at Lika. Or, actually, no, probably shoot the person. Or shoot an arrow. It's kind of up in the air. 1, 2, 3, let's see. Alright, Lika, Pyre, or Groswaro. Alright, Pyre, you're 1, Lika, you're 2, Groswaro, you're 3. 1d3. That is a 1. That will be towards Pyre. As you just shot an arcane bolt directly past this individual. Alright, he's going to shoot, or he is going to... He's going to shoot an arrow at you with his short bow. That is an 11, and that will completely miss.
So, I have something to resolve because that makes a difference here.
Mm-hmm.
On first session, I cast Mage Armor.
Yes.
You said through the portal we still haven't slept yet. What's been the time that's passed so far?
Does Mage Armor last more than 8 hours?
It lasts 8 hours to my knowledge.
It would be gone by then.
Okay, so then my AC should be 11 if I remember correctly.
I see.
Yeah.
That being
Because it didn't automatically update, so that's why I was like,
That being said, let's change that to 11, and let's roll some damage and hope for the best. Ooh. 1d6 plus 1. That is 4 points of damage. Oh no! You guys see as Pyre he takes that of the arrow, and you just hear a thud somewhere behind. And
I don't think anyone can heal actually.
Oh, maybe. We'll see. We'll have to see. That being said, that is that guy's turn. And as this is happening and occurring, oh boy. As this is happening and occurring, you begin to hear that of sort of a thud off in the distance, and you look to see more and more skeletons surrounding you. What are you doing in this moment in time?
The only thing I can do right now, that will be going for just the attacks.
Nice. Total of 19 to hit and 7 points of damage with one single strike. How do you want to kill this thing?
Chop off the head and kick the skull to fucking anywhere away from us.
Easy enough. You send it flying, and as that happens, or that of Lika, you are no longer grappled. As a creature falls, and that is your action. You have your bonus action and movement. What else are you doing?
I will move to this one, and I'd like to use my bonus action to hit it with my dagger.
Easy enough. You make an attack roll, and you also are able to see at this point. Ooh, good stuff, good stuff. That being said, a total of nearly max damage, but you are not proficient with 2-weapon fighting, so he only takes 4, but that's still max. Good stuff. So as you stab forward towards the creature with the dagger, you look over and you can see Pyre just laying unconsciously in the snow off to the side.
Oh shit!
in all fairness, can he?
Yeah, he can. You're close enough.
Okay.
It is
Since it was passing through the block.
Yeah, because remember, this isn't like, it's not a block, it's a, you can even look at it through the shadow. It's like a Stonehenge, like Bimroth mentioned earlier. It's like a little hole that you can just sort of walk through.
So
yeah.
There's an okay.
Yeah, it's an archway. There we go.
I didn't know if all of them were arches, that's why I asked.
Yeah, all of them are arches. Alright, that being said...
He's shooting through
walls. Skeleton's turn. Alright, this guy, or this individual off to the side, he sees that his shooting that of an arrow wasn't really efficient, so he's going to march forth instead and try to take out his short sword. Marching towards that of Thorin. I'm trying to finish the job. As he tries to take out his short sword, stabbing at you, let's see what happens. Oh no!
Advantage.
Disadvantage. Disadvantage from what again? Oh, protection from evil and good. Oh god, okay. Okay, that's huge. That's huge. Okay, alright, one more time.
Wait for another 20.
Oh wait.
Out of it down.
Oh no. Please? No! 22? Well, it's max damage!
Oh, I'm down anyway!
What? Oh my god! This guy does not like you, Jesus! With one single short sword swipe, you see as Thorin drops down onto the ground unconscious. You see as the individual just begins to slowly look towards you two, Lika and Groswarl. And that is its turn. Alright. On initiative 20, before this, you all see... Oh boy. You watch as all the skeletons begin to sort of swarm around you in massive numbers, more and more sort of pouring and emerging from that of the ground. And as you see the horde begins to pour and pour and pour. You probably the first one, and Groswell, you the second. You look over and you see a figure beginning to charge towards you all on all fours. You see as piercing through that of the snow, fur as white like the snowstorm around you with a kind of eye patch amongst them. You see a bearkin standing out, who then stands on its hind legs and begins to immediately roar out. And as they do, you see this individual emerge. Oh boy. Directly here. As this happens, you hear as they roar out, and you see as the entire area begins to shake. And it looks over directly towards you, female, and says, "If your hearts are strong, then you can stay and fight. If not, if you prioritize your survival in this blizzard, then you'll let me lead you to safety. The choice is yours, but you need to make one now." As she roars out, that being said, choice is yours. What are you guys doing? Split decision as a group as a whole.
Since Pyre's unconscious, does he have a choice? I'm just saying, like...
Not really. You got unconscious at the moment.
I mean,
Aurora just goes over and, or if it's possible without like getting an opportunity attack, like tries to go like pick all the unconscious people and small people up. So like Lika
You have to do that on. You'll have to do that on your turn. Though.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So what's the decision? Are you guys staying and fighting with this individual, or are you trying to prioritize your survival and running away? Which one? Or something else?
I get no vote.
Survival. Yeah. Survival for me.
yeah, it definitely would go with Anthrax's personality to have survival in mind here.
Alrighty.
So,
That being said, alright, 12. Alright, that being said, as that happens, that is your decision. That information is known to all of you. You guys all look at each other, almost confirming. And as that happens, Lika, you look over towards the bearkin, and you look over towards the skeleton who just took down that of your companion in Thorin. What are you going to do?
Right away, because this one's already badly injured. He's unconscious. He's unconscious. That guy hasn't done anything. I've had a really bad day shouting out over the thing. I'll be right over in just 1 second, and I'm going to get into melee with this buddy, and I'm just mad. I'm gonna
for it.
punch him to get into the. Just punch him. I'm just gonna punch him. I'm done.
You got it.
Hey,
With
I'm not
one
punching
single
myself.
strike.
I'm not punching myself. Hold on. I marked myself.
Oh, I
Sorry.
got Tiki.
I
There you
have
go.
to think this, buddy. Okay, there we go.
Because so bad they
Anyways,
punch themselves and they fall unconscious. Oh,
I'm
man.
gonna attack, but I think I have disadvantage because of situation.
What's the disadvantage? Oh, it doesn't matter. The first roll was a 1 anyways. Oh, no.
Fudge that.
Alright.
Bonus action, second attack.
You got
I
it.
think I can still do that.
Yeah, you can. You have your bonus action attack. You punch forth and you immediately just anger sort of coursing amongst you. Hold on, you gotta roll. You gotta roll the tip
Roll.
first.
Yeah, that's right. You're mine.
That being said, an 18 will hit. Now roll damage for the attack. D4 plus 4. 7 points
Yeah.
of damage. How do you want to kill this thing?
In the first part, I kind of stubbed my toe because I was going over top of Thorin, and I'm like, sorry. And I kind of sideswept, and I'm like, whoops. The tail kind of went near his ear and kind of flushed snow over him. And then under roll kick and just jabby jab and stupid monk ship. Hands down.
Easy enough. With a flourish of blows, then you're able to bring the creature down as he is defeated. Lika, is that your turn or are you moving anywhere else? You're muted if you're speaking.
I have 30 feet of movement. I am going to get, well, I'll get here.
Alright. You
Go
dash
over
forth,
here.
you can move your character, and all that. Alright. So, if that is your turn... Well, hold on.
That's my turn.
That was 45 feet of movement.
45
Whoa.
feet. Wait, whoops. Let's go here. I have my full movement is 30. I'm like, I just want to get there.
There you go. You're good. Oh man. Lika just grows Mach 5 speed and sprints to the battlefield. I've actually had a character that does that, or has done that. Alright, Groswarl, you receive initiative. What would you like to do?
I would like to
Real quick,
run.
I almost forgot. Groswarl, you received a health potion from chat earlier.
Oh, nice, thank you. She would like to dash over to Pyre and try to pick him up. Yeah.
Easy enough. Move your character. Alright, you dash through that of the snow and you look over towards Pyre and you see as he's unconscious, but you do see as there's a skeleton who seems to be looking directly down to him and then looks towards you. What are you doing, Groswarl?
I think if I did a double movement, then I cannot attack, right?
You would not be able to attack.
Okay. Well, I will glare angrily at it.
Alright. That being said, you glare angrily at it. What are you using for your action?
I thought that my... Oh, no, that was just movement. I think that's all I can do, right?
Well, you have an entire action, so if you want, you can pick Pyre up and you can dash. If you want to hit the creature, you can always just take out your hand axe and throw it at him or something.
Okay, no,
you can
I will
action if
pick
you
him
need
up.
to. Okay, you're
Yeah,
picking
no,
him
I
up.
will pick him up and dash.
Alright, where are you dashing to?
Over to the other bearkin.
Alright, keep in mind, because you were considered grappling somebody, it's 15 feet of movement. But yeah, you can get a little bit closer towards there. Alright, and Pyre is right beside you as you scoop him up and you look towards that of the bearkin, and she is just sort of like motioning for all of you to come with her. That being said, alright, that is your turn. Warrior's turn. Alright, so here's what she is going to do. She sees that of the skeleton and she is going to just charge forth, trying to clear that of a path and take this creature down. That being said, multi-attack, one towards her. She is actually, and you see as she actually has a giant sort of great axe upon that of her back as she stands up. And as she does so, one attack towards the creature. Oh God. Jesus. All right. 27 to hit and 16 points of damage. I think that was max as well. Yeah, that's close to max. Yeah, this guy is immediately just eviscerated and torn into. No longer alive. The second individual, she has a little bit more movement, I think. Yeah, about right here. She is then going to immediately just bite down and rip this creature's head off. Alright. Second thing, and final attack. Oh my God, what the fuck is this character? Jesus. Yeah, make a Constitution saving throw, Mr. Skeleton. As he takes 4d10 damage, 25, and you see as immediately this creature's head is ripped clean off and his body is just chucked off to the side, and he is dead. As that happens, she just looks towards both of you. Get the other individual in, let's run. And that is her turn. Alright, Pyre, I need you to make a death saving throw for me, buddy.
Since I have exhaustion, is that a disadvantage or is that just
it's-
flat? Because I know exhaustion is skill roll, right?
Nah, it's just flat roll.
Okay. So D20?
Yep, d20. Ooh,
That's a
that
fail.
is an 8. That being said, if Pyre fails another death saving throw, he is dead. Someone will need to stabilize them or heal them. Well, excuse me. If he rolls a nat 1, then he is dead. There we go. My bad.
That's why I was like, hold on.
No,
What
my bad.
happened in the middle of that?
No, my bad. That being said, yes, if he does roll a natural 1, Pyre will be dead. Moving on to the next one, Thorin. Make a death saving throw for me, buddy. 14, that is a success. Good job. All right, next up, Anth, you receive initiative. What would you like to do?
And would move to Thorin and try to pick him up and is that bonus action to...
If you want, you can just pick him
Do
up as a
so.
free thing.
Okay.
Because he's unconscious. So you can use your action to dash if you want to start heading with him.
Alright, so I would like to move back with him then after picking him up.
Alright, keep in mind he is still unconscious and needs to be healed or stabilized. That being said,
Yeah.
Anth, you pick him up and you dash forward toward the other side. Next up, Lika, you receive initiative. What would you like to do? Oh, wait, hold on. Real quick. Flipped up on my part. Skeletons need to roll. They never rolled. Alright, boom, and boom. Alright, roll NPCs. Okay, checks out. Checks out. Alright, Lika, you receive initiative now. What would you like to do?
I will listen to the random bearkin and give her thanks for her assistance. And I will move with, if Anth is not having any problems, I will go this way.
Alright. As you charge forth and moving off to the side into that of the snow, you see this Pyre is still laying unconscious, or is unconscious but like sort of thrown over that of Groswarl's shoulder, and you continue forth. Is that your entire turn, or are you using your action to start dashing?
I would start dashing the moment I see the direction that we're supposed to be heading at.
Alright, you'll see as the individual begins to point towards this direction, off to the side.
And I will dash forward.
Alright. That being said, Groswarl, are you doing anything? Are you dashing forward? What are you doing at the moment?
I am dashing through the snow.
Alright. Dashing. Oh boy. That being said, Pyre is still unconscious and bleeding out. That said, you make it over to there. Skeleton's turn. Okay, let's see. This individual is going to probably shoot at, the person that just sort of slashed its friend and ripped another one of its head, or another one of the individual's head off. So, as you do. Feature short bow, swing, and that will hit, dealing 3 points of damage to her. Alright, second individual's turn. Alright, that being said, she is going to look down towards that of Thorin, and she is going to rush over, feed you a health potion as her action, just a 2d4 plus 2, and get you back up on your feet. Alright. And prevents you from having to make death saving throws. That is 9 HP to you. You are back at full.
Wow.
There you go. Alright, that said, that is their action. They will use their movement, or the left little bit of it, to move over here, and just say, alright, so with me. That said, alright, that is her turn. Alright, Pyre. Here's one, before you make anything. No one has stabilized or no one has healed you, yet. That being said, if you roll a 1, Pyre is dead. Keep in mind, nothing can affect this roll, not inspiration, only DM's inspiration. I don't think you have any, or I think we've all used all of our DM's inspiration. So, that being said, whatever happens, happens. I wish you the best of luck, my friend. Roll a d20 for me. Oh god, I see the 1 on the dice! Oh my god, alright. Pyre, in this moment in time, getting closer and closer to death, that is a success. What memory flashes before your eyes in this moment?
I wasn't prepared for this.
Oh man.
Probably his hometown, enjoying the time traveling amongst the city, being with friends, and basically going to school and learning languages, learning how to communicate between people, and probably those kind of memories of like friendship and like group synergy.
And as you do, you watch as that synergy begins to flourish and bond. However, one by one, you see as individuals of your same nature begin to fade and fade and fade before you do see a light getting, or almost becoming, bigger and brighter the closer you get towards it. That said, alrighty, that is your turn. That is a success on your part. Good job. Thorin, you are back conscious, and you are up on your feet. What would you like to do for me?
As an action, Mind Sliver.
You got it. Towards the individual over here. Ooh. That's a 2. He does fail. He does fail.
Yeah.
And 1 damage. You see as he just begins to sort of like hold his head for a brief moment in time, and then just shakes it off. Alright. That said, that is your action. You have a movement and bonus.
Then I just move forward.
Alright.
That's it.
That being said, that is your turn. Skeleton's turn. Alright, I believe this is their final round if they can't down any of you, and you guys will be able to most likely outrun them. Alright, final checks. So there's going to be one towards Anthrax. Alright, let's see. Here we go. Short bow attack towards you. Wait, what? Oh. Short bow attack towards you. That is a 6. That will completely miss and go flying wide. Second one from the other individual. This guy is gonna shoot. He's gonna shoot at you, or shoot at you as well, Am. Let's hope for the best. Alright. Feature short bow. Oh, that's a 19. That's minimum damage. 3 damage. You are on 1 HP, my friend. Oh my god. You see as the arrow embeds itself into the back of you, or into your back, you're bleeding profusely, and you're hobbling along, continuing forth throughout that of the snow. And that being said, Anth, I'm assuming you're using your action and bonus action, or action and movement action to dash and get the hell out of here, right?
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah. That's going to be something that's happening.
Between all of you all sort of rushing and or trying to leave the area as fast as possible, hold on. You charge through that of the snow and through that of the blizzard, and eventually, you make it to an area of safety. You see as the bearkin begins to go on all fours and begins to sort of catch up and try to lead you all towards the area and towards that safety. And eventually, after about 5 to 10 minutes of constant running, you all are almost exhausted. And you eventually wind up here.
Hey, Sensei,
Yes.
what am I doing with my remaining death saving throws?
Death saving throws. As the combat is over and such, this again, you guys are able to eventually sort of stabilize, or since you guys are out of combat, you don't have to worry about making death saving throws. This was to see, like, the reason why they were shooting another short bow is because I'd assume you would have to probably stop running because Anth would be down and unconscious, and that would mean that you guys would still be in combat and not running away. You'd be dealing with that sort of whole can of worms.
Okay.
But that didn't happen.
So
you're
we're
good to go.
playing that as they're running. One of the characters stabilize. Okay.
Yeah, you are able to eventually. You are just now unconscious, and that is it. As long as you
Just wanna
didn't
make sure.
fail all of them in combat, you're good. But yeah.
Cool.
So, eventually, you guys all emerge off to the side over here, and you see that of a remote sort of area, that of, hold on, my camera changed, to that of a small igloo as well. You see in the center a small little watery or water pond that seems to be somehow being able to stay liquid rather than being frozen over, but it is, you do see as it is freezing over with time. But as that happens, you look around and you see as the blizzard is, at this point, coming to more of a close. And with that, you see as the individual looks towards you all and says, I think that should probably be the last of it. I probably got away from them at this point. I don't think they're chasing after any of you anymore. That being said, any of you injured? Any of you hurting?
Yes. We are. Hello.
Oh,
Thank you very much for your help.
Yeah, why did you?
well, these are my lands. Have to make sure they're all fit and protected. The sorts.
What is that orb then?
That's... that orb... strange news, but... that orb is, leads to a place. Leads to a land. That whole area is sacred to that of the gods. I've heard a couple of myths of individuals being transported from there and not returning. Need to make sure. I was just sort of scrolling on by and then saw all of you.
Do you know where it leads?
Not...
A big coliseum with lots of stuff in it.
Coliseum.
My friend is a little bit injured. Is it possible for us to rest as she turns casually towards Anthrax, with not even realizing what she just said?
Yes, come. About as she is doing so, you guys can move your tokens and whatnot. And as this is occurring, you will see, she says, I have a couple of bandages and more. I'll see if I can form that of a potion. Do any of you have any supplies? Any medicine?
No, I could think.
I have a healing potion.
Here, let me see it.
She hands it over.
Alright. As it happens, you see as, go ahead, Pyre.
Who's holding me? Who's carrying me? Or
Oh,
I'd
still
assume-
me, right?
Yeah, I assume it's Grosswarl at this point.
You're just like slung over her shoulder, and she's just like, "Oh yeah, here's the healing potion for my unconscious friend. Oh, he's right here."
Alright. You sort of lay that of Pyre onto the ground, and eventually, you will see as she looks directly towards them and just eyes them for a moment and sort of is like, actually, I think that you would probably be best in doing that. Yeah. Feed him the potion and make sure. Keeping her distance, but... that being said, Groswall, do you feed the potion to him?
Yes.
Alright.
I assumed that she would know how to do these things, even if I don't.
Alright, that is a D4, I believe. 1 HP, that's all you need. 1 HP in a dream right there. Oh man, eventually, Pyre, you do awake from unconsciousness, and what do you do or say? You are, oh god, it's rough.
So, before combat, there was an epiphany that Pyre might have had. He comes up and goes, circle marks, and then just kind of like, wait, what? And it's just like, he's just like, wait, I'm not here. Wait, what? He's just confused, and he's just like, and then he starts searching for his notebook.
Your notebook is on your person.
As soon as he touches, he's like,
I see, that you are awake. Well, no, where are my manners? I am, I'll get you those bandages and stuff. But, my name is Oyami Nartak, or Oya for short. That being said, who are all of you? And I'll spell that out for you guys, don't worry. believe that play, did it say it? Oh, it did it out of character. Hold on, I got it. Boop, and boop. There we go. That being
Well?
said,
I'm Lika, and this one is Grasrararo, and this one nearly died, but his name is Flame Boy, so I don't think she remembered Pyre's name.
Wow.
camaraderie.
She's not. Sorry.
I'm messing with you. Go on, go on.
And then for Thorin, she would be like, "This one's cool guy. This is Mr. Amp."
So, cool guy, Mr.
Thorin.
Thorin. Okay. Mr. Anth, Flame Boy, and Grasrar.
As soon as he says flame boy, pyre.
Pyre.
Yeah.
Right, and then you are Lika.
He looks at Lika. Says, "That's the last time I saved your life, apparently." And just it's like we're walking away.
So, can't I ask, what exactly were you all doing in the middle of a blizzard?
We're escaping undead.
Right.
We run into more undead.
So that horde from earlier, I must have. Where did you actually run into it?
Did
By
you
a
happen
massive
to-
nest and shipwrecks?
Boys, what are they going there for? Maybe they're just traveling in packs. Anth, you were saying something?
No, nothing.
You've seen the hordes before, and there's more than one of them?
How many
Oh,
are there?
You have no idea. There are many across all of Voden, and specifically in the Asia Tiger. But, yeah, I ran it, I think, if we're referring to the same one. I saw that, horde a couple of hours ago. In my, sort of scouts. Or, what upon scouting. That being said,
Well, I don't know if that horde is still around. It kind of went under water. It went boom.
And that's about sums it up then.
I guess.
Oh, we're not supposed to talk about it? Okay.
Oh, I think it's okay.
So, that being said, well, I mean, do you have? You said you were attacked by zombies of some sort or some strange. Were they a sort of strange coloring to them? Any sort of crystals or astral light or anything like that?
Yes.
That is the bad one. I've seen that one a couple of times, but, you're lucky all to be alive at the moment.
I think they were led by something that had constant light on its head.
Constant light. Oh, you mean the cold light walkers and all of those? Was it just one or multiple?
It was just one.
Individual, no face, kind of lights emanating or something?
Yes.
Blinding light, yes.
That's the one.
Oh,
Couple
one
of,
is dead.
Hmm?
It's dead.
It's dead already. You killed it.
Oh yes, it wasn't lucky. We are just extremely good at what we do.
Completely believing it and everything's just like... it's been a while. I've been trying to deal with that thing for a while. You all are strong then. Not more than I sort of anticipated. Good work, good work.
Thanks, bro.
Oh. I guess, I probably should, oh, yeah, sorry. You'll see as, well, she'll hold her hands up and just be like, don't be alarmed for one moment. And just for one moment. And you will see as she begins to sort of shift and sort of change form. And you see as the sort of fur in amongst that of her begins to slowly sort of go into her and almost completely change and morph. And you see a humanoid figure, an individual, tall, about 8 to 9 feet tall. With, again, gray skin, but these sort of tribal tattoos and markings of paint. And you see this. If I can get this right. I believe it is this one. Did it change? Nope. Come on. You can do it, Foundry, I promise. There you go. But you see this individual instead.
What are you?
Well, a
You're not
Goliath,
very
but
like her.
it's a long story. I'm surprised you haven't actually heard of me. Or any of the tales or the myths that they all try to spread.
No, I don't know much. I'll
I
be
don't
honest.
think we really had a chance to hear any of those.
Well, I am a
Fire
Gol-
completely.
Okay, no.
Fire completely out of context. Just kind of goes, "What year is it?"
That's a year. I believe passing, I think I know, since the sort of, the things that have occurred. It's a bit foggy, but I believe that it is, and we'll see, she begins to, like, literally, like, think for a moment, straining herself. I believe the year is 610.
610.
610.
Okay. Just questioning.
That is 6 years in the future.
Oh, I thought it was only 2.
At least 2.
That was a lie. That's
Oh. 6 years in the future since we
Been frozen.
got on the boat.
Mm-hmm. That being said, you'll... Is everything okay?
Yeah. Fire's just trying to hold it in, not trying to freak out in front of this person.
What's wrong?
What'd you say, Thorn?
What's wrong? Just looking at fire.
oh, it's just we are very tired. That's all.
Oops, but I didn't bring Zappy. Oops, because I thought I freaking... Ow. What the heck are you doing here? You're not
That'd be
here.
still up north, I think.
Yeah, my bad. He would have joined you all, but, yeah.
Real quick, Sensei, would I know this person or tales of them or their name or anything? Since I'm from here-ish.
Make a history check for me. 10. With a 10, you have heard in passing tales of a creature that prowls the far reaches of the Azure Taiga. Some call her the Winter Walker. And a lot of times you've heard of things of an individual able to take that of the form of either a polar bear or a hulking bipedal shape obscured by wind and blowing snow. Other forms being that of a Goliath woman. The only thing that you know is that elders invoke her name to typically keep that of, well, Goliaths, and or even that of younger individuals of the Velkin. keep them from wandering too far from home before they're ready. And if they don't,
Cool.
then they'll run into her.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
That being said, so, again, so will you all just, like, is your home not too far from here, or
Where are we exactly?
where are you? Well, the Asia Tiger, and you are towards, I believe, these... Actually, hold on, make sure. Let me pull this up. Give me one moment. I gotta load the world map. Bam, bam. Make sure not to pull that up on screen, obviously.
Fine, you can just pull that right up. That's okay.
Nah, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, alright, here you go, everybody. Hey, Soulbound, look at this. Oh, man. It's a big
interesting
map.
map.
I want you to know this map takes a minute. It's 16K. So,
Oh,
yeah.
damn.
Alright, you guys, or she would say, you are close to the Sea of Moving Ice. Not too far from there.
We know where we were setting out to when we first started.
You were setting out, pretty close, actual, area, actually. That is, actually kind of where you guys were headed in the first place. You guys were basically going across that of the, in-between, portions of Jaded Dragon Valley and also the Azure Taiga, and you're getting ready to head further in. Now, the thing that doesn't make much sense, though, is you guys are now further out or in almost a completely different position than where you originally crashed. And the ship got destroyed and all that stuff.
So we've gone backwards.
You've not gone backwards, you're just in another portion of the Azure Taiga. Which,
Okay.
and it doesn't really correlate on... I mean, besides it being on, like, the outskirts of the Azure Taiga, nothing really correlates on how you would have got here.
Miss Oya. Thank you so much for rescuing us and for helping us with your supplies. I'm wondering, and she'll look over towards Anth and see the arrow sticking out from his back and kind of go, I'm wondering if there's other civilizations not far from where you are staying here. Thing close by?
Kind of. Not really. There is, well, there's a nearby tribe of the sorts. Not too, well, it's decent, length or distance from here. I believe, it's where Bremen used to be. Or at least that's what they're calling this place. I don't really know, haven't been there too long ago, but I know the location, I know the directions to it. That being said, I'm sure there may be someone there, but who knows? Especially with all these beasts and foul things prowling about. Besides even just that of the cold light walkers, those are the least of our concerns. I don't know where you came from, but you must be very, very powerful warriors if you're able to survive the likes of that and not run into the, well, the Skybird.
Yes, indeed.
Skybird?
Yeah, Skybird, Thunderbird, whatever you want to call it. Stormbird, whatever. Do you not know of?
Doesn't sound like a...
This may come a little bit strange, but... Can I ask who you people are?
We're just travelers. I am a performing monk. I do things.
How long did it take you to say that, Lika?
5 seconds. Maybe
Okay,
10.
so it was like pretty like immediate response.
Yeah.
Okay. Keep asking.
So, you all are traveling performers.
Yes, that's what we used to do before we
Oh no, it's happening.
ended up here.
So, if you are a performing troupe, what's your troupe's name?
Oh, that's in the past now. It's we came to the new lands and we are kind of trying to restart, and it's still up in the air what we will be called. I mean, it's only me and point at Lika and her that are performers. I'm not exactly sure about the others.
No,
here,
I'm just
but-
curious. Like, so what did you all? What did? Oh, she assumed this is all 6 of you or 7. So what exactly did you all call yourselves then?
I mean, I didn't really have a name for what I performed. It was the face they knew. They didn't need to know a name.
They call me promotional material.
Oh, you don't need to tell them that.
Promotional material. Right. I see. Okay. I guess. Okay. And okay. So I will be completely frank with you. Just completely honest. I've looked at you all, and I again don't really understand. I mean, if what you say is true, then fine, so be it. Are you looking for directions to this town? Or tribe, or whatever the hell it is, I don't even know.
To be honest, any kind of civilization that can be found about around here, it would be nice. But for now,
Oh,
at
good luck
least
with
before we move anywhere, I would very much appreciate if we found a place to rest for a moment.
Oh, of course, that's more than fine. I suppose that should be okay. But, civilization. That's funny. But, at least, I understand that, it's in my nature and whatnot, or at least this newfound nature. I can offer travel, to said area, give you the directions and such, but I'll be quite honest with you, I have a bit of things to do. If you want, I can just tell you where it is, but I don't know. What I'm trying to say is the taiga is no place to be messed with. I'd argue it's probably the most dangerous out of the 3 regions of Voden. Your hearts are strong, from what I can tell in brief experience and what you're telling me. Your hearts are strong and capable, but your bodies are a little weak. I'm assuming teamwork and quick wits and the strength that you have has got you this far, but the thing about teamwork is that you're only as strong as your weakest member. You'll need... I don't know how I feel about just letting you all go out there again, especially with the Stormbird and all that sort of thing sort of prowling around. It already took another or a couple of them. Don't anymore. Not anymore.
Harry looks at this individual and goes, "Was there a part missing of that circle?"
Which circle are you referring to?
The external circle, it was that empty spot there. Was there supposed to be another one, or was it remnants of one that had fallen?
For what are you that? Oh wait, what empty circle are you talking about?
So the stone hedge, it had two
Okay.
circles. The outside circle,
Mhm.
directly to the left of that orb, there's like a big open spot. Was there like a
Was
like
there?
a-
Oh, I see what you mean. Were there
Yeah.
remnants of something that was supposed to be
Yeah.
there? Okay. With that, yes. In fact, yes, there was. That being said, well, real quick. So, that being said, I don't know exactly how you're going. Do you at least have a plan on how you will get there or anything like that?
I suppose we'll have to use our feet to move. That's about all we know for now.
You see as she just looks at you and it's just like... She seems like... That's not gonna cut it. She is sort of wary of letting you kind of go based off of just that answer and fate. Doesn't seem to be like an answer she's looking for. Anything besides for fate and faith?
I think that it's very difficult to make any decisions when a couple of members of our party are a little bit bedraggled and bleeding a little bit. Do you need help, Mr. F? Your blood is getting on my fur, and I'm not sure how I feel about it.
Oh, goodness.
That was part of the reason why I would like to rest for a moment before we make any, well, start moving anywhere.
Fire agrees as he's like just like swaying back and forth and just like about ready to like fall over.
Here, you all look worse for wear. Rest and sleep well, and maybe you can discuss everything in the morning, like you said. But for now, I will reside here. You will see as she will walk over towards that, the light over here, and then she will sort of snuff out that of the light, almost with that of her bare hand, until it's no more. Everybody make an insight check for me. 17, 15, 13, 4. Alright. You see as it happens, you see as she's hesitantly walking towards that of the fire, like motioning towards it. You see as she slowly raises her hands and then just goes forward and just snuffs out the fire. But from what you can tell, she is afraid of it. From what you can gather, from what the little experience from earlier, Lika and Anth, and even you girls were all, she seems to be afraid of fire and seems to be hesitant around that of pyre or anything fire related.
Of course, Pyre is the one who rolls low on insight.
Insert fireman.
Pyre is probably actually conjuring fire, like warming like his clothes up and like falling in the snow and kind of like trying to dry it out and warm him up, sort of scenario.
Yeah, but all right. Well, I don't. Here, you can. Here, I'll get everything ready. But for the sake of brevity, eventually, the Goliath will eventually set up everything, providing you a little bit of a shelter providing slightly or bit of rations enough for sustenance and all that stuff, so you don't have to worry about subtracting it from your own supplies, but it's the bare minimum as she can give, as you are a lot of people. But eventually, you guys are able to rest for the remainder of it, and you all receive... Oh, go ahead, Groswell.
At any given point, Groswell wants to talk to her alone.
Sure. You can do it right now, if you want to. But
Cool. I just, like, make sure that, like, it's not, like, a deliberate, like, she's, like, trying to sneak away from everybody, but she just wants to have her, like, alone, so.
you got it. You will see as she's just sort of off to the side, looking towards or looking down below, and then sees you approach. Hello.
Truth is that we're lost. We don't know how we got here. I don't think this is the time where we came from, and we're trying to figure out what's going on.
Lost, don't know as you are. Well, what was the last thing that you remember?
We were all on a ship. Everyone was going their own way. We all met, and there was a battle, and then we woke up encased in ice, in some sort of magical ice. That was when we broke out of that. That was when we ran into the horde of the undead. We fought for our lives.
Back. You said battle, and you said frozen in ice. Did that battle have anything to do with, how do I explain this to you? Cyberkinetics or automatons or anything like that? Any creatures?
Yes, there were two giant dragon-y things, right? They were dragon things?
Yeah, the one looked like, a sort of sea dragon in that of the water, and another one seemed to be like an astral dragon.
Yeah. There were two massive dragons, one sea dragon, one starry kind of.
You see,
They
you see as she just genuinely like laughs for a brief moment. Okay, you don't have to. You don't have to. Come on. Is this really? Okay, so what actually happened?
That's exactly what happened. We were on the ship. The two dragons appeared out of nowhere. There was it was also undead that were like coming on the ship, right?
Yes.
Yes.
They seem to have like a strange coloring to them.
Okay, cool. Was that color similar to the ones that we just fought earlier?
Yep, exactly.
Okay. They had the same color, kind of strange coloration brightness as the ones that we fought earlier. They came up from the water. They swarmed the ship. I guess we made it, but I don't know how. We woke up encased in that ice. That's what happened.
You'll see as she looks at you and just waits for like a crack, a smile, a laugh, and then she's like, "Wait, you're serious?"
Yeah.
You're telling me you witnessed, or you were on that ship, and you witnessed Deimos in the flesh.
Deimos? Which one was that?
You said a sea dragon, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That is ridiculous. Everyone on that ship died. No. This is strange. Now, I'll be honest. I've helped a lot of people in my time and stuff since the curse, but you lot might be you might be up there with the strangers. I'm not going to lie. But that was. I mean, I've only heard stories, but I heard that was only several years ago.
We were just as surprised to find that out when you said that date earlier. We're not in the right time. I don't know how we got here.
Oh, so that was the one. That was why the flaming one acted that way.
Yeah.
I see. Well, if you haven't been here in a while, all I can tell you is that, well, Voden has changed. And it has changed significantly. These monsters of Astrolite, they swarm all around. Creatures, automatons, more monsters are ever abundant. Wildlife barely presumes civilization is destroyed. You have to learn how to survive here, and you have to adapt to the environment, but things have changed, my friends. Things have changed. I've been traveling this area for only a couple of years and whatnot, but I've only picked up a couple of things.
What are those things? This was my home. I used to know this. I used to travel this. This is where I was raised. This was what I did. What do I need to know to get through this, to get this back?
She'll look you up and down. Well, you'll need strength. That's for sure. Strength and, well, a good group of individuals, I think. We have a team, so that's a good start. I'm lucky to be alive without one out here for so long. A couple of them got taken recently, but regardless, I digress. That being said, you'll need martial prowess to take out those things. From the astral figures and also that of the automatons. Your friend over there, I think her name was Lika. She said she was a monk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, she will need to train as well. And the rest of them, are they fighters or are they non-combatants?
They're all fighters.
It's time to grow in strength, I suppose. We'll want to do so at least before traveling out there. From what I've heard, you've at least learned the likes of this area is very dangerous, so need to be prepared
What
for
can
it.
you tell me of any weaknesses of these new creatures?
She just sort of shrugs. From what I don't really know much of them. For only a bit of experience. They die all the same, without a spear or axe. From what I can tell, but they're strange and they infect all. That's about as much as I know.
They infect? What do you mean infect?
The light, the blues, the purples, the greens, all that stuff, they infect. They consume, they move onto the next, and they continue the process.
We should stay away from the light.
Typically, you should. Well, alright. That being said, alright. I've said enough of the sorts. That being said, first thing in the morning. It's the least I can do. Ensure that you won't become, well, one of them. Or anything happens. Gather yourselves, and if you want, grab your weapons, your swords, your shields, your staves, or whatever it may be. And prepare yourselves. Or at least teach you at least the basics so you can at least know how to survive.
Thank you. We'll find a way to fix this. We'll find a way.
One step at a time. One step at a time. So you'll see she begins to yawn and begins to sort of stretch. Alright, I've had enough of my watch. I'm gonna go take a rest for a bit. I'll see you later.
Rest well.
See as she nods, and she begins to do so. You will see as she begins to actually full on turn from that of her Goliath form and turn into a full on bear, or a polar bear. You see she just sort of lumbers down, then just sort of begins to reside by that of the igloo and just sort of rest there. And as she does, oh boy. That, my friends, is where we will have to end the third session of Rime of the Frostmaiden. And in doing so, you guys receive one more arc point. You're at level, or you are at 4 out of 5 at the moment. One more, and you guys will receive level 2. Oh boy.
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go. Well,
Thank you so much.
that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. That was a blast. A lot of tense moments, my friends. A lot of tense moments. Oh, God. But you guys came through. You guys came through. That being
So
said...
backup character almost got light.
See, yeah, you survived cosmic death. See, it's not all that bad. It's that bad. Good job, good job. As soon as Thorn was like, oh yes, I go over there, I rush forth. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, oh gosh, they're in the light. Oh no. And then you guys came up with the brilliant idea of using the gunpowder and all that stuff. Oh gosh, that was good stuff. But,
We can all thank that being dumb drowned them.
But real quick, I'm gonna break down stream and all that stuff, and then we'll converse all that stuff and break everything down. But I'll be right back.
Right.
All right. Thank you everybody for watching and tuning into that. Oh wait, hold on. Let me go to the other overlay. My bad. But thank you everybody for tuning into that of the stream today. My name is SenseiSuplex, and thank you guys for watching. I am your, or as I like to call it, a professional dungeon master, and I am also the lead of Project Aurora, a grand universe where all the games are set in, or they're all set in the same universe, and they can affect each other in big or small ways. And obviously, anything that they do affects the world, and anything you guys do also affects the world. So if you ever want to join that, or that seems interesting to you, be sure to join the Discord and hang out there. Also, yeah, be sure to, if you want to get notified or connect with me or talk and all that stuff, be sure to join the Discord, but also be sure to follow on any of my socials on YouTube, Instagrams, Twitters, you know, all that sort of stuff. We actually, not only that, we also give out actionable tips on how to bring your D&D games to that of the next level on the YouTube channel and many, many more. We're actually we're getting ready to get that started. We have a couple videos posted there, so be sure to check it out. And yeah. That being said, I think that's all for me. Yeah, thank you guys. Sorry again, I can't really check out like all the follows and the raids and all that stuff. But thank you guys so much. I think we're at 871 followers now, so 10 follows. That is awesome. Thank you guys. You guys are freaking amazing. So let me see. We also have a Twitch team rolling together, and we do have a couple people who are streaming. So we're going to send this over to Roll Together RPG, awesome friends of that of the Twitch Twitch team family, and yeah, we're gonna go hang out with them. So be sure to oh yeah, thank you also for the follow, Strong Bean Water. That I love that name. Thank you also. Oh, shut up me. Thank you for the follow, Strong Bean Water. But we're gonna throw this over there. Be sure to leave a like. Make sure to follow them and hang out with them and all that stuff. But yeah, that being said, I will see you guys in the next time. Bye.